All right, we're broadcasting live on Here's the Deal, The Disturbing Illusion. We're on High Impact Flicks official on Rumble, and we're on High Impact Flicks on X. Thanks for joining. Got a lot of things going on. We're going to just jump into some of these videos. We want to look for some man on the street videos and how fake stream CIA infiltrated Operation Mockingbird. MK Ultra Media is covering this, and the slant that the leftist and the rightist media, which by the way, they're not your friends, they're corporate entities. They're there for the ad revenue. They're there for the clicks. They're not there to give you the real news. They're there to spin because they are spin doctors. We're going to take a look at some of this stuff, especially I want to look at the man on the street things coming out from LA, from Delete Laws, Nick Shirley, and some other independent content creators like this one right here. This is Status Coup News. Going to take a look at some of this. If you live, by the way, if you live in LA, let me know what you guys are seeing. Who started the riot? Yeah, I do see riotous crowds, but I also see the National Guard and the police kind of exacerbating issues. They do appear to be indiscriminately firing on people who are just out there trying to report the news, which is pretty interesting. What's going on, Pax, Poetic, Sean, FFN's here for the glory of Christ. Thanks for being here, guys. Please share this video out. We're going to take a look at this. We want to find out why. Look at this. Now, this cop right here just sprayed a guy who looks like he's just videotaping. Look at this. Watch. This guy looks like he just has a video camera and he's just trying to get footage. Why would you spray that guy? This is what I can't stand. We're going to talk about crowd psychology, but we don't just have the crowd as in the rioters and the anti-ICE protesters. We also have the crowd of cops who are also going to act like sheep, and they'll experience and express and display the herd mentality. It's just dangerous on both sides. Anytime you have a crowd, you have individualism eroding and melding into the collective psychology of the entire thing. F ICE. Thanks for being here, guys. Appreciate you joining. Funny, they're not firing rubber bullets at people who are actually throwing projectiles at them. They're firing rubber bullets and spraying with mace people who are recording the event that unfolds before their eyes. Thanks for sharing the stream, guys. Appreciate you hitting the like. We're going to see some crazy stuff going on here. We're going to see what Tom Homan says about Gavin Newsom, people call him. We're going to listen to the response of Gavin Newsom back at Tom Homan. Shouldn't this guy be investigated for steroid abuse? Look at this guy, right? Look at this guy's arms. See if we can get a full screen here. Look at this guy. How'd they find a uniform to fit that guy? See this graffiti on the side of the building here? It gets worse and worse and worse. Like the graffiti artists have just come out of the woodwork during this. let's look at a compilation. First of all, let's look at what Gavin Newsom says in response to Tom Homan's threat.
When the border czar said to me yesterday, he did not rule out literally arresting you, nor Mayor Bass, if you interfere in his.
Now, remember, I don't know if you guys, there's a lot of people who don't know what my political disposition is. Let me just let you know right up front. I'm not for political parasites, and I'm talking about the varieties that sits on the left side of the aisle or the right side of the aisle. They're all political parasites. So definitely Gavin Newsom is a guy who's highly favored by the elitists. He's on the take. He's not for Californians. But then on the other side of the coin, neither is Trump for Americans. They're both sold out to the Zio International Banking Cartel. They're both participating in the WWE Dog and Pony Show political escapade under the big top. So none of these people are your friends.
Well, you hadn't yet.
He's a tough guy. Why doesn't he do that? He knows where to find me. But you know what?
I'll just start over.
Literally arresting you, nor Mayor Bass, if you interfere in his work. You hadn't yet.
He's a tough guy. Why doesn't he do that? He knows where to find me. But you know what? Let your hands off 4-year-old girls that are trying to get educated. Let your hands off these poor people who are just trying to live their lives, man. Trying to live their lives, paying their taxes. Been here 10 years.
Yeah, we're just trying to live our lives, Gavin. But you decided to go ahead and inflict Californians with anti-gun laws, and you decided to go ahead and exercise tyranny against them by telling them they need to get a VAXX and they need to social distance. They need to wear the ritualistic shame muzzle or risk being arrested. You do not care about Californians, you schmuck.
Here, the horror. The hell is this guy? Come after me, arrest me. Let's just get it over with. Tough guy. You know?
He should be arrested. This man should be sitting in jail, along with Trump, along with Hillary Clinton, along with Barack Obama. But again, those are just the puppets of the banking elite. We really need to go over and arrest, apprehend, charge, prosecute, and jail the Zio International Banking Cartel and the corporate elitists who are getting rich off of the back of the American tax cattle.
I don't give a damn, but I care about my community. I care about this community. The hell are they doing? These guys need to grow up. They need to stop. And we need to push back. And I'm sorry to be so clear, but that kind of bloviating is exhausting. So, Tom, arrest me. Let's go.
He's talking to Tom Homan there, of course. And let's talk about Tom. I think Tom is in this clip right here. Let's see what he says about Gavin Newsom.
Care about my community, and I'm sorry to be so clear, but that kind of bloviating is exhausting. So, Tom, arrest me.
Somebody should arrest him, and somebody should arrest Tom Homan.
You gonna shoot some kid? He's afraid of getting run. You gonna shoot an elected official? If you shoot me, you better shoot straight. I don't know why you're in my city. You did the governor.
Another one that should be in jail. Mad Maxine Waters
was not contacted.
Tom, what's your response?
Well, first of all, it's just ridiculous. That reporter from SMBC, he's a joke.
This guy looks like he just came off a bender. Who is this guy?
He's a dishonest reporter. What we discussed was, for those protesters that cross the line, I've said it many times, you can protest, you get your First Amendment rights. But when you cross that line, you put hands on an ICE officer, or you destroy property, or I says that you're impede law enforcement, or you're knowingly harboring, concealing illegal alien, that's a crime.
Did you get that? If you put your hands on an ICE officer, that's a crime. But they can put their hands all over you every day of the week for no reason. Undocumented immigrant, we're putting our hands on you. Hey, we got a call. You're an illegal. We're going to take you off the street. Oh, you're an American. Oops, sorry, we made a mistake.
And the Trump administration is not going to tolerate it. You cross that line, we're going to see prosecution in the Department of Justice. Then the reporter asked me, well, could Governor Newsom or Mayor Bass be arrested? I said, well, no one's above the law. If they cross the line and commit a crime, absolutely they can. So there was no discussion about arresting Newsom. And so, you know.
That's a lie. That's a lie. Everybody knows that there are people above the law. Federal officials, state officials, local officials, police officials, military officials, all of them act and are treated like they're above the law. Check that out. Sevenfold 777. Thank you for being a member for 6 months. I appreciate it. Don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to join as a member. I appreciate you guys being here. If you want to support the channel, you can do it for free just by liking this video and sharing this video with everybody you know. Let's get into it. We want to try to get to the bottom of what actually started the riot in LA. Was it the rioters that some are calling protesters, but Fox News is calling rioters? Or did they get a little bit upset because ICE was shooting rubber bullets and macing them for no freaking reason?
What he's done, he's failed that state. He waited 2 days of that city burning and people getting hurt, officers being assaulted before he made any declaration of an unlawful assembly. He's late to the game. President Trump isn't late to the game. Men and women of ICE are not late to the game. And let's make this clear. I keep hearing this term ICE raids, ICE raids. What happened with how this riot started is that ICE was serving a series of criminal warrants at a business being investigated for money laundering, customs fraud, and serious violations on sending money to criminal cartels that in Colombia and Mexico that fund criminal cartel activities in the United States. It's a part of it.
Oh, basically, in other words, the people were caught doing the very thing that the United States government does all the time. Money laundering. Well, what do we have? We have the Federal Reserve, Zio International Banking Cartel, printing the funny money and setting the value and the amount of currency that we can spend, which devalues the product of your time and labor. Is anything worse than that? I mean, can a regular person, can an illegal immigrant do that? No, only a banker can do that. Give a man a gun and he can rob a bank. Give a man a bank and he can rob the world. But Tom Homan is not marching to Washington's District of Criminals and arresting the real criminals at the Federal Reserve or at the IRS. He's not doing anything with Donald Trump to, collaborate and get with Congress to do anything about the income tax. He's here to try to tell you that he's going to treat you as a criminal if you do the same things that the U.S. government does all the time.
Overall conspiracy that ICE is investigating. So we're arresting bad people. We were enforcing laws and following up on a serious criminal investigation on cartel financing. So that's exactly what ICE did. And ICE took a lot of bad people off the street that day. We arrested a sexual predator, arrested gang members, arrested somebody that had an armed robbery conviction. So we made LA safer. The men and women at ICE, the men and women of the Border Patrol made LA safer.
They made LA, guys, we're going to see an example of how LA is much, much worse with ICE there. As a matter of fact, everything was fine before ICE showed up. And I'm not saying that there haven't been riots in America for various and different reasons, but usually when the police show up, things get way, way worse. And there is an example where there is absolutely no police activity, there's no protection and service racket. There was actually a slice of peace in LA. This is back during the Rodney King riots when everybody was just going crazy, but there was a little slice of peace. There was a little oasis of calm over at Koreatown where they decided, you know what? We don't need the police to protect us. We'll protect ourselves. They set up cars, they set up barriers. They had people with Uzis and shotguns and machine guns on the top of their markets, and nobody was messing with the Koreans. You want to carve out peace and unity and security, then just get together, have self-determination and go, hey, we're just not going to accept any level of criminality, including the criminality coming from the local cartel known as the Thin Blue Line Gang.
But you're not hearing any of this. All you hear is a rhetoric.
By the way, thank you, Ellie Bell. You've been a member for 15 months. She says they need to raid the White House. Yeah, I totally agree. Hey, Kevin, thank you for the super chat. Much, much appreciated.
About ICE being racist, about ICE being Nazis and terrorists, and Governor Newsom feeds that. Just like Hakeem Jeffrey feeds it, that he's going to
Tom Homan missed his AA meeting. It really looks like it.
Unmask ICE agents. And the members of Congress who keep feeding this rhetoric, they're the ones that are causing this riot because they don't listen to the truth about what the men and women at ICE are doing. We're keeping our promise to American people to make these streets safe again. And that's exactly what we're going to do. And we're not going to stop doing it.
Tom, who gave the stand down order from the LAPD when your federal agents were being surrounded? And you know the call. You were a local cop before you were a federal agent. When a cop says officer assist across the radio that they're surrounded, everyone in the surrounding area is supposed to respond. So who told the LA cops not to respond?
Well, the LA police chief, he works for the mayor of Los Angeles. That's Karen Bass. And they were delayed. They were very delayed in responding to the call for assistance. Like I was here and it had over 1,000 protesters at the federal building trying, and they breached it several times. Luckily, they were able to push them back, and that put the officers.
This is key. This is key to the success of this psychological operation. And make no mistake, this is a psychological operation. The key is to make sure that the left versus right paradigm lie continues to divide, demoralize, and dehumanize people. That's what it's meant to do. Because when you divide us, we are easily conquered. And you're going to see that demonstrated time after time in the on the street interviews from different people from different perspectives. It doesn't matter what your perspective is. It doesn't matter what your political perspective is. It's what is the truth? How is the crowd being played? What is the outcome of this entire thing? Are we going to actually become a freer people after these episodes? Typically, it doesn't work like that. Swiss Miss, thank you for that super sticker.
And women of ICE being Nazis and terrorists, and that were out raiding, arresting innocent women and children. Everybody.
Order out of chaos. Versatech says, Versatech 1 says, order out of chaos. That's what happens. There's nothing wrong with order, but the people who typically create that order out of this chaos are, basically springboarding off of the back of the Hegelian dialectic, problem, reaction, solution. They create a problem which requires a military/police response, which usually ends up in curtailing individual rights. And then people get even more pissed than they already were because of the police presence, because of the abuse, the long train of years long of abuses. And then it creates a reaction, and that's the fear-based reaction of the crowd. And then they step in with a pre-planned solution. Hey, we need more surveillance equipment. We need more law enforcement officers. We need to beef up the military industrial complex. We need to increase defense spending. Oh, and we need to go ahead and take the prison industrial complex and expand it too, because we're going to create a whole new group of criminals who are resisting the cops. And you just, okay, so these criminals like Tom Homan, like Donald Trump, like Joe Biden and his administration, like Kamala Harris, all these criminals are telling you, hey, we're drawing the line. We're going to tell you where criminality ends, where it begins, who are the criminals, and what we're going to do to these criminals. And if you decide to use your First Amendment right to protest and assemble against us, well, we'll assemble against you. Oh, sure, you have the right to assemble, and we have the right to shoot you with rubber bullets and spray you with tear gas and then zip tie your hands behind your back while we kidnap the rest of you. Let's take a look at Alex Jones. He did a compilation here of, remember, Alex Jones is decidedly a rightist. And we're going to take a look at, we're hopefully going to peer into or behind the veil of the psychological operation that's going on here. Alex Jones is in on the psychological operation. The rightist commentators are in on the psychological operation. The people who are pro-police are in on the psychological operation, and the people who are anti-police, who are defund the police, but who would be the first to call for the police if something went down and they got in trouble. This is all just a hodgepodge of confusion and mayhem.
Here's a short compilation of what the leftist leaders are doing. The globalist leaders.
It's the leftist globalist leaders. Like, there's no rightist globalist leaders. It's just leftists.
Openly now calling for nationwide uprisings that are totally normal and totally peaceful. Here it is.
Demonstrations have been going on right outside the Federal Detention Center.
Hey, let's have some interaction and some reactions. I can't get to all. If you want to get my attention, maybe it would be best to do a super chat or whatever. But Adam says, are you against, it's talking to me, HTD, here's the deal, which, by the way, if you're looking at this from my Disturbing Illusion channel or from Rumble, I do have a police accountability channel called Here's the Deal. So I'm also live streaming on that. Adam Koss says, are you against being a decent, moral human being? No, that's why I'm against cops. If you look at it, historically speaking, some of the worst people on our planet are politicians, presidents, including presidents and governors and senators and congressmen, and the police. As a matter of fact, the police are the law enforcement or the enforcement arm of the political parasites who write the laws, and then the order following miscreants of the military or the police forces carry out or enforce those laws. So you can actually make an argument that the cops are worse than the politicians. The politicians simply wrote the law criminalizing you. The laws that approve of anti-Second Amendment rhetoric and legislation, anti-Fourth Amendment rhetoric and legislation, anti-First Amendment rhetoric and legislation. So they just write it on the paper, but the cop sees the paper and he goes, okay, I will follow your orders. I am going to arrest that person for having committed absolutely no crime, but because my political parasitic masters told me to do it, I'm going to go ahead and do it. So yes, I am against being an indecent, immoral human being. That's why I am decidedly anti-cop. And if you want to look at objectively just how bad a police force can actually be, you don't have to look any further than the NYPD and the 1970 Knapp Commission and the 1994 Mullen Commission. The Knapp Commission, if you'll remember, was spearheaded by the whistleblower Frank Serpico. Remember, they made that movie on it. I think Al Pacino played Serpico. Serpico exposed the widespread police criminality within the NYPD. I mean, they were giving and taking bribes. They were killing people. There was the they called them the grass eaters and the meat eaters. In other words, the lower level criminals within the NYPD wearing the badge and the uniform, and then the high level criminals called the meat eaters. And then 20 years later, you'd think it'd be better, but they had to do the Mullen Commission, and they decided there's such widespread police criminality. This goes far beyond the evil and corruption that we uncovered during the Knapp Commission. And that's just one law enforcement agency. And that law enforcement agency, the NYPD, that is the biggest law enforcement agency in the world, not just in the United States. They employ over 38,000 people. A lot of those are sworn officers who are not serving and protecting. They're playing their part in the service and protection racket, which makes their banking masters and their political masters a whole lot of money, including the prison industrial complex masters.
Most of those demonstrations were very.
So yeah, I am against being an indecent, immoral human being, and I'm for being a decent, moral human being. That's why I'm decidedly anti-bad police. Now, if you can find a good cop somewhere who disobeys corrupt, evil, immoral laws and is actually protecting the public and refuses the extortion check that they're getting paid, show me that person, and I may concede that there may be somewhere possibly a good cop.
Very peaceful. They were chanting, they were shouting. People were driving by, honking their horns. And again, they were expressing their anger about the detention of so many immigrants at the federal center.
Large group of people. It could turn very volatile if you move law enforcement in there in the wrong way and turn what is just a bunch of people having fun watching cars burn into a massive confrontation.
Oh man, did you see that guy just get hit by this guy's billy club? Let's see this again. Let's see.
Fun watching cars burn into a massive.
This guy right here is unarmed. Tom Holman says, what makes you think it's a psychological operation? We'll be getting into that as this live stream goes along.
Confrontation and altercation between officers.
Hit him again. Holy cow.
Demonstrators.
Extraordinary images out of Los Angeles tonight. Hundreds of National Guard troops now on the ground, deployed by President Trump, even though state leaders say they didn't ask for them and don't want them there.
Look at that. Look at that. Just
there.
Trump immigration authorities launched a series of targeted raids throughout the city of Los Angeles today. And tonight, a massive protest is taking place outside the LA headquarters of ICE.
That's a good question from Savorian. You know what? I hate to label myself anything, but I don't want a ruler. I want to be able to opt out of the system, whatever you want to call that. Anarchist. By the way, anarchy is not mayhem, chaos, Molotov cocktails being flung by, mustachioed and bandana faces hidden behind bandanas and cars burning in the street and broken windows. Anarchy simply means no rulers. That's all it means. That's it. Do you want a ruler? Do you believe that it's legitimate for somebody to rule you and to rob you? If you think it does, then go try robbing and ruling somebody else and see what happens to you. You'll be treated as a criminal because you're acting like a criminal. What gives people in government or police or politics the right to lay their hands on you when you did the exact same thing in the exact same context? You would be rightly arrested and removed from society. So if I'm going to give myself I don't want to put myself in any kind of political box. I just don't. It's not right to rob and rule anybody. It's never right to initiate unjust force and violence on peaceful people who haven't done anything wrong. Nobody's got a higher claim over your life and property than you do. And I think everybody should operate by the golden rule, because you would want that done to you. Whatever you want done to you, do likewise to others. Copper says, High Impact Flick Squad. Thank you guys for the super chats. Appreciate it.
ICE showing up outside of places like schools, it quite literally is striking fear into the heart of people all throughout this community. This is the most corrupt administration in the history of the country.
Based on what? Based on what? Is the Trump administration really the most corrupt administration in the history of America? I would say no. I would say since 1913, every single administration, at least since 1913, okay, it'll go before that, but at least we have some kind of identifying marker in 1913. That's when the entire money supply, think about it, was co-opted by a group of private international bankers who decided we're going to control the issuance and value of this currency. We are in total control. So at least since 1913, what is that, 112 years ago? We've been controlled by Zio International Banking Cartel, who control the police. They control the military. They control when or if there is going to be a war or not, the dropping of bombs, the padding of the pockets of the defense contractors. They control the presidents, the state houses, the congressmen and the senators and the governors. They control all of that because they control this. They control us. They control how hard you have to work, how long you have to work, how much food you're going to be able to buy, whether you're going to be able to put a roof over your head or put gas in your car. They control all of that. I call that total control. And until you're talking about that, you're not talking about the problem. And if you're not talking about the problem, you're never going to arrive at a conclusion and fix the problem. So for this Yahoo right here, Senator Murphy, to say that the Trump administration is the worst administration in history, American history, give me a break. Worse than the tyrant administration of, and I'm not saying that the Trump administration isn't bad. It is horrible, but is it 614,000 Americans dead on battlefields all across the nation from tyrant Lincoln? Is it that bad? We haven't even come close to that. Actually, it could be worse if you talk about the Convid 1984 by George Orwell, which was approved and endorsed and funded by Trump with one signature, $6.2 trillion. So if you promote Trump out there, and I know that I'm breaching the I'm going across the hurdle of what my Here's the Deal channel is about, but kind of not really, because Donald Trump is wanting to beef up and initiate and create a greater power base for the executive branch, which is law enforcement. And he wants to send in the National Guard. He wants to send in the Marines now, if he hasn't already done so. But that is tyranny on American soil. And I don't care if Biden did it, if Obama did it. Obama kind of did it, with the Hurricane Katrina thing. Remember that? There was gun confiscation. The National Guard was going house to house, and people who stayed back after Katrina trying to defend their property and their families, they were stripped of their firearms. They did not have a Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms because that administration said, hey, go ahead and send in the Marines, or go ahead and send in the National Guard and go ahead and take their guns. Donald Trump is just as, if not more, anti-Second Amendment than Barack Obama. At least Barack Obama didn't come with, and I'm not saying Barack Obama is good by any stretch of the imagination, because he is a banker puppet as well. But Donald Trump came up with red flag gun confiscation laws. So that puts him solidly in bed with and should be in the same jail cell as a Barack Obama or a Joe Biden or a Kamala Harris.
And we are going to rise to this moment by being out there on the streets. But ultimately, I think the country sees what Donald Trump is trying to do here. He's looking for a fight. There's nothing in what he is doing that is about peace or about restoring order. He's taking a protest that is relatively isolated. People in Los Angeles over the weekend would tell you that 99% of them went about their day, and it was pretty normal because this is not an invasion that is taken over the entire city, and he's trying to turn a protest that is pretty small into something that involves an even bigger confrontation so that he might actually be able to invoke the Insurrection Act.
As much as I'm against Chris Murphy, there's an element of truth to what he's saying here. True News Now says we're already under martial law, war on poverty, war on drugs, war on terror, trading with the enemy act. The USA views Americans as the enemy. That's absolutely true. There is, in a sense, there is daily a martial law. When you have the war on drugs, it's not a war on drugs. It's not a war on burning plant matter. It's a war on the people who decide to possess burning plant matter. The war was initiated on us a long time ago. Remember the war on drugs initiated by the Nixon administration in the 1970s? Around the same time as they closed the gold window on August 15th, 1971, decoupling the US dollar from precious metals.
He's looking for a fight. He's not trying to calm tensions.
President Trump not ruling out going even further in the days to come. But California's governor pushing back hard, saying the president's hoping for chaos to justify more crackdowns, telling protesters not to give him what he wants.
Get your hands off these poor people. They're just trying to live their lives, man. Trying to live their lives.
Keep your hands off of these poor effing people, says Gavin Newsome.
Paying their taxes, been here 10 years. The fear. The horror. The hell is this guy? Come after me, arrest me. Let's just get it over with. Tough guy. I don't give a damn. But I care about my community. I care about this community.
That's a lie. It's such a lie. Gavin Newsom cares about no one but himself, his power, his prestige, the amount of money, the profit that goes into his pocket from the Zio International Banking Cartel.
The hell are they doing?
They are openly triggering the mass uprising nationwide to start now. We'll be right back. Our medical grade.
It's pretty interesting how far in the swamp Alex Jones has descended.
From the front line.
It is pretty crazy.
Max hospitals burned, hundreds and hundreds.
We're going to come back to Alex Jones here in a second because I want to keep moving with this. This is Nick Shirley. Nick Shirley has a YouTube channel of about 500,000 subscribers. He released this about 4 hours ago. It's got 200,000 views. But check out his perspective. Now, Nick Shirley is decidedly pro-Trump. He's pro-Republican, which really adds fuel to the divide.
They're all moving. They're going to City Hall.
Yeah, of course. Newsom should be in jail, just like they all should be. Now, I want you to notice this federal building right here, because this is the same federal building that Chili DeCastro from Delete Laws is on the outside of. And we're going to check out some of his coverage in a second. This right here is fascinating.
Fuck LAPD. All these people right here talking to the police. Direct line in between them. More police are coming.
Fuck LA.
What do you guys say?
Bro, this is fucking bullshit, bro. They out here hurting innocent people. Fuck you, bitch.
The lady with the scarf right here, she was one of the people in that group that I was talking about earlier on in this video. Her and this guy right up here causing all the chaos.
He's a right street. He's a gangster. Get out of here. Need a mask.
I'm all good. Yeah. What's the mask for?
I mean, shit. You're
handing out the mask. Why are people having masks? And who do you think's in the wrong? Newsom or Trump right now? They're battling it out.
Trump, definitely.
He's in the right or wrong?
Wrong. Totally. Look at what's happening. I mean, clearly.
What are you going to do?
Now, listen, there's something specific that marks crowd psychology. And this person right here, I don't know if this is a dude or a girl or whatever, but what marks the crowd personality is that the crowd becomes one personality. There are individual personalities that make up the crowd, but they lose their individuality in the crowd. And part of it it manifests itself in impulsiveness and irrationality. Listen to this person. This person actually doesn't even know why they're in this crowd.
What are you gonna do?
I don't know. I'm just kind of here.
Just keep the finger up.
Yeah.
There you go.
This guy's
I don't know what's going on. I'm just kind of here with my finger up in the air. That's all I'm doing. They're susceptible to suggestibility. They have there's a loss of personal responsibility in their anonymity in the crowd. They think they can get away with certain things that they would never be able to get away with if they were just a single person acting by themselves. But now that they're in the crowd, they feel like they can escape any kind of personal responsibility by doing damage to private property. And watch this guy.
He's a fucking white nationalist. Fuck this guy. You're not a fucking bitch.
Don't touch the camera.
Fucking bitch. I know that.
Hey.
You're a fucking bitch.
I don't do anything.
Get the fuck out of here. I know you fucking do. You fucking white nationalist motherfucker.
How?
I know who the fuck you are. You fucking Republican bitch.
Bro, you don't need to put it. This is one of them. They're going to get it.
I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna fucking tell it to his fucking face. You fucking little faggot.
What did I do?
You know what the fuck you do?
What did I do?
You know you antagonize people? Oh, fuck your fucking bitch ass up.
I'm not doing anything.
Get the fuck out of here. Just like the cops. Get the fuck out of here.
Hey, I have a right to be here just like you.
Yeah, so do we, motherfucker.
Okay, I'm not.
This guy right here is totally touched. I'm not on board with Nick Shirley. I'm not on board with his politics. I think people like this do a great deal of damage by turning their minds off and drinking the Kool-Aid and embroiling themselves in the cult of personality. But this guy right here is putting his hands on another man. That's where the line is. He just keeps pushing Nick Shirley, keeps pushing. Now, Nick Shirley, hats off to him for keeping his cool, but he's perfectly within his rights to give this guy an elbow to the FACE. I don't know exactly what I can say in this live stream right here. Put a 1 in the room if you think that Nick Shirley, whether you agree with his politics or not, would we be perfectly fine in defending himself against this dude right here.
Why the cops here? You're a fucking cop. That's what you fucking are.
Cop.
Yeah, you are. You fucking
How am I a cop?
You want to fucking steal that shit?
Get out of here, bro.
What? I'm fucking cornered, you little bitch. Are you scared?
I'm not scared.
You fucking faggot.
What did I do?
You're a little fucking bitch. I fucking see you on fucking line. Always fucking antagonizing right-wing fucking ideology, motherfucker. This is our fucking land, you fucking bitch. Get the fuck out of here, dude.
Dude, I have every right to be here.
I don't give a fuck. Not today. I'm the fucking police. I'm telling you not to be here, motherfucker.
This guy right here is totally irrational and deserves every bit of self-defense that Nick Shirley would ever decide to muster, but he doesn't. And I'm not criticizing Nick Shirley for not doing anything, because maybe sometimes it's best just to stand down and let somebody, but if they're going to, try to damage you or hurt you or take your property or whatever, self-defense is perfectly warranted.
Well, I want to be here.
Yeah, I totally agree. The guy in the mask is just completely out of line.
Well, I'm fucking telling you not to be here. Get the fuck
out of my way.
Towards the cops, you fucking little faggot.
Get out of here.
Little fucking asshole. I know you are, you fucking right-wing motherfucker. You're a little fucking bitch.
Matter of fact, this guy right here with the mask on, he'd make a perfect cop. He's got the exact temperament that cops and law enforcement agencies are looking for.
I have every right to be here just like you.
Well, I'm gonna be right next to you the whole fucking time.
Okay.
Fucking cause hell, you little faggot.
Do it. That guy's mad at me for being here. Meanwhile, I'm just trying to show what's going on here.
I'm your personal bodyguard now, motherfucker.
Thank you.
You little bitch.
I didn't do anything to you, sir. Now the police are backing up.
I mean, hats off to Nick Shirley for keeping cool on this. Starset, thanks for the super chat. Says, I have 3 family members, 2 cousins as deputies, and 1 in the Army. I would give the public their address if I found out they helped ICE with deportation.
People have taken over the police here.
Tom Homan, I don't know. I don't know what the problem is. What's the point of your disagreement? Are you pro ICE? Are you pro National Guard on American soil? Are you pro martial law? What's going on with this?
I just broke the windshield of the police, so it makes no sense. I understand why the protesters are out here today. They're upset with ICE. The police are trying to leave, though, and they won't let the police leave.
Well, if you're pro-border, that means you're pro-government, because there are no borders without governments, and borders are enforced through the extortion of the American tax cattle. Now, are you saying that you want the tax cattle extorted? Do you want funding to go to Border Patrol? And how do you know every single dollar is being spent for Border Patrol? And are you aware that Border Patrol is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, engaged in trampling the individual rights of Americans every single day? If you're pro-border, are you pro-Border Patrol? And if you're pro-Border Patrol, are you pro everything that goes along with Border Patrol, including trampling rights? There are border checkpoints 50, 100 miles from the border on American soil. They are the Gestapo, the Nazi Gestapo, setting up their checkpoints, asking for papers and not letting anybody proceed unless they produce their papers. So what's up with that, Tom Homan? I'm sorry to hear about that. That means your paycheck comes from the extortion of Americans. You can't do both things. You can't extort Americans and say you care about Americans. If your paycheck is coming from extortion, the theft, the forced theft by the barrel of a gun of the government to the American people to extract that money to give you a paycheck, you're actually parasitically living off of the American tax cattle. It's not a voluntary arrangement. It's a compulsory arrangement. So if you work for the federal government, you're actually, by the very nature that you work for the federal government, you are showing that you are an enemy of all Americans while you claim to be protecting and serving them.
So watch, the police are trying to leave out of here, and watch what's going to happen to this police officer when he drives away.
What's up, Auden here? Oh, check that. Did you see what just happened right there? Look at this. Hold on. Okay, so the cop hits this guy's woman, looks like. Oh, she sprayed water on him. Okay. She's pushing him back. He just got a rubber bullet to the chest. Those rubber bullets, by the way, are about that big. I thought the rubber bullets were real small. They're about that big. Auditing Erie County says less than half of you hit that thumbs up for Brian. Smash it. If you don't smash it, you ain't fam.
Police have been overtaken here on the streets. There's about 10 of them now here on the streets, and over 1,000 protesters are throwing waters at the police. Now the police are about to shoot.
This is just mayhem.
What's the deal?
What's the deal? It's crazy out here, man.
Now look.
The police, I don't understand. The police are trying to leave, but people won't let them leave.
The police.
I know that everyone's saying F the police, but if the police are trying to leave, should they let them leave?
Yeah.
I understand that these people are upset, but the police are trying to leave. There's about 20 police officers now, but they're not letting them leave. And when they do leave, they're kicking the cars, throwing waters at them. They broke the windshield of one of these police officers.
Huh. They're not letting the police leave. That sounds familiar. Let's see. Oh, that's right. The police don't let us leave. We haven't committed crimes. We're not endangering the public, but they pull us over all the time. Guys, $6.2 to $6.8 billion a year is generated just from speeding tickets alone in America. Think about that number, 6.1 or 6.2 to $6.8 billion. And on every one of those traffic stops, you haven't committed a crime, you haven't left a victim, you haven't violated somebody else's rights, but they're going to detain you and they're not going to let you leave until they say you can leave. And all of a sudden, Nick Shirley's like, hey, they won't let the police leave. Well, guess what? Maybe if you constantly live as a threat, a harasser, a terrorist to the American people, don't be surprised if one day they start treating you like you've been treating us.
The police are trying to leave. There's about 20 police officers now, but they're not letting them leave. And when they do leave, they're kicking the cars, throwing waters at them. They broke the windshield of one of these police officers. So I understand they're upset, but I don't understand why they won't let the police leave if they're trying to leave. Everyone's going back to the National Guard where the people are being detained right now. So those watching the video right now, am I right or wrong in having an opinion that if the police are trying to leave, the people should let them leave versus antagonizing?
Okay, we'll come back to Nick Shirley. Let's play some of this from Delete Laws. He was out there at the protest 21 hours ago.
They're bringing in reinforcements over there. Cops are running up the street here. They're trying to surround us on all sides. That's why the crowd's moving. They know.
Now,
They know.
you know what? I think that this same footage was captured by Nick Shirley. Let's see. It's really interesting what this guy says. We'll take a look at this in a second. Let's see here.
Right back there, they have them detained in handcuffs. And now another line is coming through right here.
Here we go. Here we go. Look at this.
Looks like they're going to trap everybody here inside of this intersection.
I think Chili's standing right over here. Yeah, because this is the same building that Chili's in front of. Setting off fireworks.
People are lighting off fireworks here on the streets. That's
all right, so let's go here. Let's back this up. See if we can't get a little timestamp here.
Looks like they're going to trap everybody here inside of this intersection.
Okay, let's go to this right here.
Boom! Firework. Their sides. That's why the crowd.
Yeah.
They're trying to surround us on all sides. That's why the crowd's
It
moving.
would have been great if Chili knew Nick Shirley was out there so that he could put the screws to Nick Shirley and interview him about his support for Donald Red Flag Law Trump, Donald Operation Warp Speed Trump, Donald Father the VAXX Trump.
They know. They know. Boom! Firework. They're trying to surround us on all sides.
Yeah, because that firework is kind of an audio marker. Listen. Yeah, that's the same firework.
So they know. They're trying to surround us on all sides. That's why the crowd's moving. They know. They know. Boom! Firework. They're trying to surround us on all sides. So they've evacuated.
Yeah, so Nick Shirley's over here somewhere.
This little square over here. The cops are moving forward quickly.
All right, so let's look at some of this footage here.
People are lighting off fireworks here on the streets. That's extremely dangerous. Los Angeles has just declared that they are on tactical alert here, which means that anybody who's a part of LAPD needs to be ready to be out here no matter how long of a shift it is. They must be ready because what could break loose tonight or this evening could get extremely intense. These are already intense scenes out here. It could get
We got you on camera! We got you on camera! We got you on camera! Keep doing it! We got you on camera! We got you on camera, bitch ass nigga!
What do you guys think? We're going to watch some more of this. What do you think would happen if the cops just left? If the National Guard just left? Do you think people would continue to riot? What if ICE did? What if they just left? What if they're like, hey, we're not going to be arresting people who aren't criminals. If you haven't committed a crime, we're not putting our hands on you. I don't care if there's 15 million of you. If you're contributing to the economy, as long as you're not sucking off. Here's my problem with immigration, guys. As long as you're not sucking off the government teat, because when you're sucking off the government teat, you're getting money from the American taxpayer for doing nothing. If you want to earn money here, you got to be working. You can't just, I'm against the welfare state and the warfare state, but the government typically incentivizes border crossings by saying, hey, we're going to give you a free phone. We'll put you up for free. We'll put you in a hotel. We'll give you food. We'll give you an EBT card. Sorry, we can't afford that. And besides that, we're not going to do it anyway because that's not how the world works. If you want to make your way in the world, then you've got to do it. You can't be sponging off other people. And if charities want to help you, then that's a voluntary arrangement. But don't coerce me. Don't cajole me. Don't force me. Don't threaten me into providing for the welfare state. That's what I got a problem with on this border stuff. Besides that, nobody's got the right to declare another human being illegal. And if they do, what does that mean? I declare thee illegal because you're sitting next to a tree that's on the Mexican side or the Canadian side. And then the Canadians or the Mexicans can tell Americans, I declare you to be illegal. What does that even mean? What's the illegality and legality construct there? Okay, you as a human being declared me illegal. Let's say we all got into a plane crash on a 747 and only 100 of us survived. And now we're on a desert island for the next 2 years. Are we going to have a ruling class? Are we going to have a police class? Or are we going to all get together in a coordinated fashion, with no coercion, and try to see what the best way for us to secure ourselves from any kind of island predators, create a situation where we can all work together for food, a mutual cooperative effort. Unlike government, yeah, you got an organization in government, but it's all under force, threats, coercion, and violence. Can't we all get together and mutually benefit one another? Yeah, I think we could. And I think it would be mayhem and chaos for 3 people in the group of 100 to go, okay, now I'm the ruler. Me and my buddies, actually 10 buddies, 10% of us, 10 of my buddies are going to make rules for the rest of you. And if you don't follow our orders and do exactly what we tell you, we're going to punch you in the face. We're going to punch you in the gut. We're going to trip you. We're going to cut off a finger or something like that. Wait a second. Who died and left you? What if I don't want you to rule me? What if I just want to be left alone? No, we can't leave you alone. You got to have rulers. You got to have robbers. Oh, you collected 10 coconuts for your family? Well, we're going to take 20% of that. We're going to take 2 coconuts for every 10 that you pick, and we're going to put that in a coffer for the welfare state. And then we're going to give it to a whole bunch of other people who didn't work for those coconuts. Even though it took you 5 days to collect 10 coconuts, we're going to take some of those from you and give them to people who didn't work for it. It wouldn't work. It wouldn't work.
Why you guys got to be so rough on that guy? Why do you guys got to be so rough on that guy on the fence? He wasn't trying to fight you. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead. You want to advance over there? Okay.
Bring in the Marines. Daniel, are you being serious about that?
It doesn't come till later, Mr. Gray. After you retire, that's when the retired cops call me and they tell me they hate what they did, that they feel terrible as human beings. That's what happens, Mr. Gray. It doesn't happen now. You feel empowered, you're on Team Blue, and then later you figure out, man, I did bad shit. Like attacking that guy on the fence. That was so uncalled for. There was no reason. Could have just got him down and had him move. You ever been putting those zip ties before? You've been putting them before? Man, it hurts, doesn't it? Those zip ties hurt, don't they? Not if you put them on right. From my experience with those zip ties, they hurt. They hurt real bad. You know what I mean? Stop throwing things. Cop hit me in the stomach earlier with a stick. You're not going to hit me with your stick, are you? I'm not going to attack you, Gil. I don't want to attack you. I just don't want to be hit with a stick again, you know? I'm just here to film. So I'm just peacefully protesting. Are those rubber bullets or tear gas you're shooting people with? Is that what that is? Is it a rubber bullet? Or is it a tear gas canister you're shooting people with? Don't hit me. Please don't hit me. Please don't hit me. I'm just walking by. Don't hit me. Don't hit me. Don't hit me. Is it officer, is it a rubber bullet or is it a tear gas canister? Yeah.
Okay, so they shoot out things like this, right?
Can I see that?
You can.
Show it to me.
This is the shell and this is what comes out of it.
Look at that, guys. Look at this.
That's what the green gun.
No, he got hit with one of these. It's one of these things.
Oh, that's what that is?
That's what comes out of the green stuff. This comes out of the black one.
Oh, that comes out of the green one. That comes
green and black.
Green and black. Okay.
Green and black.
Thanks, I appreciate it, man. You got hit with it? Did it hurt?
I got shit.
Oh shit. Yeah. Oh, damn.
Wow.
I'm lucky he's back.
Imagine that hitting you in the eye.
This one jumped up in my balls.
Oh damn.
And I'm 16.
No, nobody's saying the Molotov cocktails are fine. Nobody's saying that at all. I mean, no sane person, I don't think, is saying that. I'm not for the crowd. I'm not for the cops. I'm not for ICE. I'm not for the National Guard. But what I am for is peace. And the National Guard and the cops are not doing anything to create a situation of peace when they're shooting people, including reporters. I saw an Australian reporter yesterday, a nice looking female with, she was dressed nice. She didn't look like Antifa, didn't have the Palestinian garb on or anything like that. Just finishing up on a report. And when she was done, you could see the cop in the background with one of these green rifles taking aim at her and shooting her in the backside. Unbelievable, man. For you to be, the crowd psychology works both ways. It doesn't just work for the people in the crowd who are against the police. It also works for the people who are in the crowd who are a part of the police.
Fuck you. Yeah. I got shot with one of these ones.
What's your name?
No, we're still live. We're still live.
My name is Mateo.
Don't you agree, Daniel, that the cops are punks too? The cops are punking us all the time. Nobody asks to be pulled over through corporate traffic code. You didn't activate your turn signal. Your license plate light wasn't properly illuminated. That gives us the justification to violate your rights. If you're not free to go on a traffic stop, you are not free in America. What do you expect from people when you're constantly poking them and prodding them and harassing them and economically terrorizing and fining them and pepper spraying them and shooting their pets and shooting people, innocent people in houses when they went to the wrong address to conduct that raid? People constantly being kidnapped, thrown into cages. What do you expect Americans do when they wake up and go, you know what? You've sealed my back against this wall. You've painted me in a corner. I've got nothing else to do that I can do. I can't drive because you took my license. I can't pay my bills because you economically terrorized me with lawyer fees for some stupid reason. And I didn't even commit a crime or create a victim. What do you expect people to do when they're at the end of their rope? Cops are exacerbating. Matter of fact, when a cop obeys like a drug war law, they actually create a new class of more virulent, more cunning, more thoroughly funded and equipped and armed criminals, like what happened from 1920 to 1933. Do you think you ever would have heard of Al Capone or the Chicago or New York mafias if they didn't create a prohibition scenario that pushed people underground to the point where they started going, you know what? We're not even going to obey these laws. We don't care what law you write, and governments can't have that. So they backed off of it and they got rid of the amendment that created prohibition in the first place. Viral option. Why isn't voice of God heat ray being used? Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. This isn't about cops right now. How is it not about cops when all we see is the cops? All we see is the National Guard. That's all we see, and they continue to provoke.
You guys do me a favor, double tap on the screen for me. Hit the like button, double tap on the screen. 3,000 people in here. Double tap on the screen for me, please.
So what we got here is we've got cops that are actually abusing people with cameras that are just trying to document this historical happening on the streets of LA. Free says, while I share in the skepticism of the Guard state using troops in this manner, leftists brought it upon themselves via trying to import voters. Voting is nothing. When we're trying to preserve the voting process and the right to participate in free and fair elections, especially we're talking about on the national scale, there is no free and fair election. Look how much the RNC and the DNC shells out billions and billions of dollars every election season, not just for the presidential candidate, but also for the senators and congressmen, because they need somebody in there that's going to pad the pockets of the corporate elites. this isn't about leftists doing something or rightists. They want you to think that. And there are people who are on the Democrat side that are making really poor decisions, but so are the people on the right. But they want us to be reduced to left and right politics. You're a Republican, you're a Democrat, you're a liberal, a libertarian. No, what about, I'm just a human being. I just want peace. I just want to be left alone. The income tax is ridiculous. It's literal theft of the American people, extortion because it's done by the barrel of a government gun. You're messing with our money supply with the Federal Reserve. You're domestically terrorizing us through the IRS. Republicans and Democrats don't care about you. If they did, they would write a one paragraph, but wouldn't even take just a couple sentence bill saying we're not waiting till September 1st. We're not waiting till the end of the year. Today, we are eliminating the IRS, the income tax, and we're going to institute sound money and phase out the Federal Reserve. Why don't they do that? Because they're working for the IRS. They want you to be domestically terrorized and economically terrorized with the income tax. They want the full power to be in the hands of the Zio International Banking Cartel, because that's how they can create their wars. That's how they can create the drug war. That's how they can continue to sustain the military and the prison industrial complexes. They're not our friends. They're all our enemies.
Double tap.
And they want you to consider yourself a leftist or a rightist. That's why you can look at Fox News and go, wow, they are really drinking the Kool-Aid there. This is really, really bad. The cognitive dissonance is real. It's so thick, you can cut it with a knife. And then when you watch CNN, you're like, whoa, the cognitive dissonance is real on the left too. You got everybody separated in their own echo chambers. Everybody's talking past each other because once they find out you're a leftist or a rightist, that's all you got to say. They don't hear anything else after that. Nothing. They are incapable of hearing.
On the screen. So do you know the plan? Are you guys gonna try to drive us all forward? Sorry, man. I apologize, bro. Are you guys gonna try to push us all out? Is that what the plan is?
Again, this is on the street reporting from Delete Laws. We just saw some on the street reporting from Nick Shirley. We're going to go over some more stuff from Alex Jones. Stay tuned. But what we're talking about is the LA riots currently happening right now, the deployment of the National Guard troops, the consideration that they're going to launch the Marines there in America, the threats that Tom Homan made against Gavin Newsom. It's all here. It's all here.
They won't say anything because they're pussies.
Corino, what's your plan? What's the plan, Corino? What's the plan? Double tap on the screen. Double tap on the screen.
Separating mothers from their children. This should be embarrassing. You should be ashamed. Shame. How the fuck do you think you got here? How do you think you got here?
Looks like they're starting to push here. I didn't do that. I mean, it's so horrible you're put in this position. You know what I mean? You shouldn't be in this position, and neither should she.
What I really like is that Chile and some of these other people on the ground, actually, there's very few that actually try to address the humanity behind the badge. But you got these women right here who are literally worthless doing what they're doing. Worthless. They could easily be overrun by even the smallest man. Free says, love you, Brian, but the left-right paradigm does have some validity. I share next to nothing in common with socialists and communists, but I do agree it's libertarian versus authoritarian state versus you.
Either one of you guys should be in this position. Because if something happens, you guys go down, then he wants to get all chivalrous. It's just a mess.
This is great. Yeah, that's
we took DEI higher to another level.
Yep, that's exactly right.
They did?
Brian, is somebody in the comments saying I'm a Fed, Mike? Oh my gosh. Accusation without substantiation will always be the height of ignorance, huh? Billions of dollars in selections isn't free or fair. I totally agree, Jay Chill. Totally agree.
Oh, damn. Did they give you a ticket? No, nothing. But they took you to the dungeon? I don't think that's going to work, officer. I don't think that's going to work. You guys put in the comment section, LA protest. Everybody put in the comments, LA protest. Excuse me.
Let's see some more interaction here. Let's see. He's going to interact with some more cops. Just a real quick shout out from my members, some of my members. There's Let's OVT OTVO, Ali Bell's here, Mike Cucumber's here. Appreciate you guys being members. Tom Homan is a member. Tom Homan says he's a Fed. So I got a Fed as a member of this channel. That's really interesting. Let's see. We've got Flowers in the Attic as a member here. I'll try to call out more as I see them. If you want to become a member, I'd really appreciate it. It'll support the channel. If you want to support the channel for free, just like and share this video. Let's keep going. Yeah, by the way, if you live in Los Angeles and you've been in this area and you've got some footage or you've got something to, hey, what's up? Tashanta's a member. Thank you for being here, Tashanta. Give me a shout out. Let us know if you're in LA. What are you seeing? And also what I'm really interested in is how the protests started. My understanding is the protests started because people are sick of ICE invading their communities and taking loved ones away under the the Immigration Act that's been launched by Donald Trump and the Trump administration. So there are people out there protesting. My understanding, and it could be wrong, but my understanding is people were peacefully protesting against ICE. And then ICE and the federal agents and the state agents started firing on and pepper spraying the crowds. And then that's when things took a turn. But from my understanding, and I could be wrong, the initiation of violence started not from the police, but not from the crowds, but from the police. And again, I am not for the throwing of bricks, trying to hurt somebody that's not trying to hurt somebody else. I'm not for this, the spray painting the sides of buildings and making your whole community look horrible or starting fires. I'm not for any of that, but I do want to get to the bottom of the truth here.
I didn't really understand riding the motorcycle through. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to get caught, right?
Thank you.
You're going to get arrested. Your bike's going to get impounded. That didn't make a lot of sense to me. But neither did the SUV.
Welcome aboard. Jay Chill is a new member. Thank you.
Yeah, the cops coming through like that, Like, it just, if you guys just stood there, eventually the crowd will leave. You know what I mean? I don't know why you got to go offensive on the crowd. It just causes a riot.
That's true. This is so true. If they just fell back and went away, the crowd would disperse. They would go away.
Poor guy's bike. He tried to ride his motorcycle through the line, and all they got to do is just grab one handlebar, and you're knocked off. And now the guy's bike's right there. His bike's going to get impounded. He's going to go to jail, probably get charged.
In my view, these cops aren't protecting anything. They're not causing any kind of peace. They're actually exacerbating the situation. Yeah, exactly, Jamie Todd. Police always escalate.
All kinds of crimes.
Always.
For riding his motorcycle into a line of cops. He's going to lose his motorcycle. That motorcycle is now pretty much a goner because, look, you can peacefully protest, but you can't ride your motorcycle into cops or they're going to arrest you and they're going to impound your motorcycle, I mean, have you seen what that does to people, officer? Have you seen the results of what happens when you get shot with that thing? I filmed a couple people's injuries from that gun. It hurts. It hurts for sure. It leaves a big gash. I don't know why. Why do you have the blue paint on you? What happened? You get some side collateral damage there? How'd you get the blue on you, officer? I haven't called you any names, man. I haven't yelled. I'm just talking to you, dude. How'd you get the paint on you, officer?
Isn't it amazing how a cop feels like, and as a person, as a regular person, you have the right not to get involved in any conversation you don't want to. But this guy right here is a public servant. He's there to serve the public. And what do servants do? They don the mantle of servitude. Oh, sure. I'm here for you, public. I'm a public servant. You got a question for me? Here, I'll let you know. Here's why I got the paint on my arm. It's interesting how they can detach from humanity when they're wearing a uniform and say, well, I need to follow my the police union's lawyer's advice. I can't get into a conversation. Really? Maybe you need to ditch the lawyers union. I mean, the police union, and you need to ditch your lawyer, and you actually need to be a public servant. I mean, can you imagine the gall of taking money from members of the community and then not only not serving them, but harming them on a continual basis?
Is this part of the training that you don't respond? I've been nothing but polite to you, dude. Is it the training? Is this when they say more training? Because this training is bad. If we had a dialogue, I would be able to humanize you more.
Yep.
And the thousands of people watching would be able to humanize you more.
Very well said. Very well said.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they're constantly involved in programs to humanize the badge, and then they act like the antithesis of what a human's supposed to be and how a human's supposed to act. If the government isn't severely reduced in power, size, and spending, this type of event will become both a norm and only a taste of a bigger event. I completely agree, Freeman.
Gotcha. What's that? Yeah. Well, they just went too far with the DEI hires. They hired a bunch of women to be cops. And the truth is that you cause the most problems.
Yep.
I mean, women cops cause the most problem because men are naturally chivalrous. So what happens when the pushing starts happening, you get knocked on your ass, and then one of these guys goes to extreme violence to save you. And you shouldn't be put in this position, Ramirez. You shouldn't be in this position at all. You know what I mean? You should be able to be an officer, but not when you're on the street trying to take on men, because you're not equipped to take on men. And
I don't care what you think about Chili. This is spot on. He just pried the cranial structure open and peered into the psychology of a cop and actually laid out exactly what does happen. Yeah, cops are dangerous. Female cops are more dangerous because they're weaker and more susceptible to using a violent action or calling for backup. And then when the male cop comes, because we are naturally chivalrous and we know what society basically expects of us, besides, you know what your internal mechanism is, then they jump to her aid, and maybe more force is applied than would have normally been applied if the ponytail pig wasn't involved in the situation.
just from natural birth.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Poor guy's bike. Just don't hit me, okay? I'm not going to hit you, Ramirez. You don't got to go crazy on me.
She's not going to hit you. You're not her husband. 40%, remember.
40%.
40% of officers beat their spouses.
Oh my gosh, even people on the street know it. Cops are, guys, you have to understand the statistics. These are FBI crime statistics. Police officers, people in law enforcement are 40% more likely to be domestic abusers than people in the general population. Just remember that.
40%.
Damn. All right, so let's toggle back to, let's go to Alex Jones.
Hundreds of stores looted, hundreds and hundreds of people hospitalized, assaulted by mobs of communist, Antifa, Mexican.
Yeah, the looting and the assault, people who are actually committing real crimes, they need to be removed from society.
Nationals waving Mexican flags.
It's not a crime to wave a Mexican flag.
Police being pummeled with rocks, with cinder blocks, with bottles. hundreds of police injured, National Guard on the streets, and then we have the incredible spectacle.
Violent LA rioters, this is from InfoWars, trap highway patrol officers under freeway overpass, pelt with rocks, and set patrol cars on fire.
Of mostly peaceful 2.0 or squared.
Mostly peaceful.
We have literally, I had like 50 clips on my list. Last night and today, senators, congresspeople, mayors.
Yeah, no matter what you think about Alex Jones, he is not pro-American. He's too involved in the left versus right paradigm lie. He wants you to drink the Kool-Aid along with him by supporting Donald Trump. What happened between Donald Trump and Elon Musk last week really put him to the forefront and exposed him bare for the sycophant he really is.
Saying this is peaceful, this is normal, Trump is causing the chaos. And then we have the mayor just this morning, Bass, the admitted previously communist agent of Cuba. I mean, she worked for the Cuban government. She admits it. Literally saying we have rapid response teams that are directing the mobs.
Now we're watching a combination of Delete Laws, Nick Shirley, Alex Jones, the fake stream CIA infiltrated Operation Mockingbird, MK Ultra Media. We're looking at it all, and we're going to try to determine through the lens of actual liberty and a desire for morality what the heck is going on here. What kind of solutions can we come up with, not just putting our finger on the pulse of what's going on as far as the problem and who caused the problem and who's exacerbating the problem, but what exactly can we do to create some kind of situation where we have a solution in America. And one of the reasons we have seen what we see is because we have people who control the Federal Reserve currency. This right here is the reason they can fund these tyrannical police forces in the military industrial complex and create a whole new slave class with the prison industrial complex. So we're going to talk about all this stuff. Starset says you'd be surprised how many Hispanic cops and Hispanic ICE agents knowingly or unknowingly have undocumented family members. Clown world we're living in. Remember, undocumented immigrant, illegal immigrant, these are all constructs of belief. My question is, has this person committed a crime?
2 ICE raids because the city gets the intel on where and when they're going, and the city and other cities around LA are saying they are not aiding ICE. Instead, they're doing the opposite. This is real insurrection.
Mayor Karen Bass says the people of LA have a rapid response network to protest and disrupt on demand. The mayor appears glum on CNN as she tried blaming Trump for her riots. Quote, I will tell you that it is peaceful now, but we do not know where and when the next raids will be.
This is real criminal uprising by the Democratic Party with their plan to create nationwide chaos. This is just the trigger. And then launch it nationwide. And now we have Senator Murphy and others saying this is the beginning.
Actually, all these people on the screen right now, including Wolf Blitzer from the Counterfeit News Network, should be in jail because they have done so much to expand widespread criminality on this land. They need to be held accountable for this.
They want nationwide uprisings, and it's already happening in Houston and Minneapolis and Seattle and Chicago. Feds going in.
Let me ask you guys, maybe I should open this up for some kind of discussion. If you're up for that, let me know and I will put the link. But I want to hear from anybody who is pro Donald Trump. Put a 1 in the room if you're pro Donald Trump. Put a 1 in the room if you're pro Donald Trump. I want to hear from you.
Anywhere, even on drug raids, are being overwhelmed and attacked. Crowds come up and say, we're going to murder you. We're going to shoot you in the head, and start throwing bottles at them. And the feds evacuate. Been showing you this for 2 weeks, and I told you, this is the buildup. This is the escalation. Antifa taking over campuses. All these attacks. How did we know exactly what would happen? Getting chills right now. because John Podesta in August of 2020 said if Trump was able to win the election and they couldn't steal it, big article in the New York Times, that they had war gamed, nationwide uprisings, blue cities and states all seceding and forming their new government. And that will crash the economy. If they were unable to crash the economy in March and April, as I told you, before he was even president-elect, because I war game the enemy and track them, they would then try to crash the economy with the Civil War plan. That's why every day for at least a year, every week for 4, I've told you longer of this plan. And it's their plan, and as soon as Trump won, was president-elect, they implemented the build-up to it. That's the New York Times right there. So
that's a lot of ones in the room. There's a lot of people who support Donald Trump in the room. So I'm wondering why you do support Donald Trump. And we are going to have a call in then. Let's see. Let me see if I can get let's see, where's the invite link? Here's the invite link. So while we're listening to, honestly, I only want to hear from people who are pro-Trump. And I don't want fake pro-Trump. I want people who are really pro-Trump. Please just be honest. If you're pro-Trump, I want to hear from you. Here's the link right here. We're going to keep each of these discussions short, but if you want to interact while we're watching this, we'll toggle in between. There's the link.
Only.
I'll drop it again. Truth, fears, no scrutiny. I do have some questions about people who are for people who are pro-Trump, though.
Myself and General Flynn, and to some extent,
there's the
Steve
link.
Bannon, have predicted this. This is not a prediction. This is if you're in a war and one of your spies is able to steal the enemy master plan. Except they're so arrogant, they brag about it.
All right, hold on. Let's just go to the first person on stage. 10th man. You said you're pro-Trump, right?
Yep. Yeah. I've been feedback. Is that on my side or yours?
I don't hear any feedback. You sound good to me.
I don't know what's going on. I'm hearing myself. Never had that happen before.
You want to try to come back in?
Yeah, I'll try.
Okay, I'll remove you and then just come back in. All right, Noah, are you for sure pro-Trump?
Oh yeah, yes, sir. And I watch a lot of your stuff, by the way.
Okay. Well, what's your reason for supporting him?
I definitely was not a fan of the last administration or the prior. And I don't agree with everything the guy says. Like he is into qualified immunity and all that. And I think he needs to look into that stuff a lot more. I just can't get behind that. I don't know. They don't need any more than what they already got. It needs to go away.
So in the face of Trump being for a federal blanket of qualified immunity on law enforcement officers, you still support him?
Oh, did I just screw something up?
I don't know. Can you hear me?
I can hear. What did you say? Sorry.
So in face of the fact that Donald Trump is pro-federalized blanket of qualified immunity on all law enforcement officers, which would make it worse than it is right now, are you still support him in face of that?
I do support him because here's my thing. Just hear me out. You could probably roast me, whatever. But
I'm really not here to roast you. I really just want to understand.
There should have never been a flood of illegal immigrants coming into the country to begin with. I don't have a problem with people coming in legally. I mean, when we were born, our parents had to go through legal. You know what I mean? If that would have never happened, none of this would be happening. It should have continued to basically support the border, stop all that. And the thing that a lot of Democrats don't know is Obama was literally nicknamed the Deporter-in-Chief.
Yeah. So let me ask you. I want to stay on this though. In the face of Donald Trump, red flag gun confiscation laws, in the face of the fact that he was bailed out by Rothschilds Inc. back in the 1990s, in the face of the fact that he's for He signed one of the biggest power and wealth transfer bills under the CARES Act, $6.2 trillion during his first term, and really exponentially increased inflation single-handedly with that policy. You still support him?
I do. That's another one I don't agree with him is the red flag law bullshit. I don't really think he quite knew. I don't really know. It's not a gotcha moment, but I agree and 100% agree what you're saying on that, basically.
Well, I can prove that he 100% knew what red flag gun confiscation, that it was gun confiscation, because he sat next to Dianne Feinstein and said, I like take the guns first, due process second, which means you're guilty until you prove yourself innocent, and we're going to go ahead and take your guns.
Yes, sir.
I
agree with you.
So why, let me ask you, let me segue. Why do you not support, what keeps you from supporting somebody like Obama or Biden or Harris?
Really, they just like to spend money, and it just they're not businessmen, and I think the country personally is a giant business ran by multiple other businesses.
So the reason
big business all the way down to small ones, and
so the reason
I'm
you
not
don't
saying
the reason you don't support an Obama or a Democrat is because they like to spend money. Is there any other reason why you don't?
That's my main concern.
Nobody has spent money like Donald Trump, right?
Oh, I know, but he's investing in my opinion, at least.
Yeah, but in the meantime, he might be investing, but in the meantime, we're paying higher prices for gas, for food, for medical supplies. So if you're against Obama for being a wild spender in the big, beautiful bill, there's been no greater bill that caused a greater deficit in the United States than that. If you really take a look at what it says.
It's like
why
a
would
$2 trillion deficit or something like that.
Yeah, it's 1.9. Yeah, 1.9. But what if you're against Obama for that? Why wouldn't you be against Donald Trump for the same reason?
No, I am, but I think what he's trying to do, because it's not obviously going to change overnight. You already know this information, but it's not going to get even said on. Oh man, who was that? He basically said it's not going to change within 4 years. He's just going to try and turn the boat around, essentially. And I don't know. None of us do.
What would Donald Trump have to do to get you to withdraw your support from him?
Come take my guns and which I already know what he's doing, but I'm talking full on. I don't really know. That's a good question, Brian.
Well, if it's not the wild expenditure, if it's not the biggest power and wealth transfer, and by the way, when I say biggest power and wealth transfer, you know, tens of thousands of American businesses went out of business during the COVID 1984 by George Orwell, and it's specifically related to the policies and the signature of Donald Trump, right?
Yeah.
So if that wasn't enough, that one thing wasn't enough, and being bought and paid for by the Rothschilds banking cartel, all I would have to know to withdraw my support from Obama is that he was bought out in the 1990s by Rothschilds, and there's no way I'm ever going to support that guy. But if that wasn't enough, what exactly would the guy have to do to get you to go, you know what, I can't support this?
I really don't know, and I would like to know more about the Rothschild stuff as well. I'm not trying to get off topic of that, but
well, I'll give you the short and dirty. Back in the 1990s, he created a casino called Taj Mahal in Atlantic City, and within a year, it went bankrupt. And he was looking for loans, and who stepped in to give him a loan was Rothschilds Inc. The name of the guy who was the employee for Rothschilds Inc. was Wilbur Ross. 25 years later, when Trump becomes president, guess what he did for Wilbur Ross? He made him the Commerce Secretary, still being a Rothschilds Inc. employee as the Commerce Secretary. He makes as the Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin, who's a Zionist international banking cartel agent for Goldman Sachs, and just hired a whole bunch of swamp creatures claiming to drain the swamp. So if that didn't do it, what would be the watershed issue? What would be the straw that broke the camel's back to make you see that Donald Trump is on the same team as Team Obama?
I think they're all on the same team, but I definitely take the lesser of the two. And I don't know. I might bite myself in the ass saying that, but
well, you do
I don't know.
yourself.
Either way, it's going to be corrupt, in my opinion.
So why not take the side of morality and go, you know what? Given the facts, I can't vote for anybody, because if I vote for that person and support that person, there goes my reputation. What does that say about me if I'm supporting evil? Even if I say, well, it's the lesser of two evils, that'll be better for us. And did you realize that considering Donald Trump the lesser of two evils on policy issues and expenditures and gun control laws alone, he actually was the greater of two evils. Obama was actually better than him on all of those fronts.
Gotcha.
So if you really wanted the lesser of two evils, you would have voted for Harris. She would have been the lesser of two evils.
Definitely would be Harris. I don't know. She just talks. I don't know. Nothing she ever said made any sense to me. I don't know. Like, she kind of just never made any point. I mean, I'm not saying I'm a beast at this or anything.
Yeah, did
I'm
Harris ever drive tens of thousands of small American business owners into bankruptcy?
No, but she also didn't really do too much. I mean, most of the time you heard her on the TV. It's like what?
Yeah, but you're kind of making my point, man. Basically, you said it all when you said I'll vote for evil, whether you think it's the lesser or not, which arguably it's not. But I'm not trying to. This isn't a getcha. I truly want to understand what it is that make people gravitate toward a Donald Trump instead of a Harris when you know they're both controlled by the bankers.
I get it 100%. Like I said, I love your content. I think we're having a really good conversation.
Yeah. All right, brother. Well, hey, thanks for joining. I appreciate you.
Can I real quick shout out my I run a Facebook page called United States Tyrant Patrol Group.
The United States Tyrant Patrol Group, and you're the head of that?
Yes, sir. I share a lot of content to it, actually.
But you support the biggest tyrant in America right now.
Hey.
I gotta say.
It's gonna go left or right. It's never gonna be independent. That's not my thing.
But if it is to be, if morality is to be, it's up to you and me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The only way we can hold
dude, I agree 100%. The independents, I don't feel like they're ever gonna win.
Well, it's not about winning. It's about doing the right thing. It's never been about winning.
I agree, 100%, man.
All right, brother. Hey, thanks, man.
Yeah,
Take care.
Thank you for your time.
All right.
Bye-bye.
10th man. You got your audio issues?
Yes. No, 1 second.
All right, everything good?
No, just 1 second. So you have a sound issue.
I do?
I switched devices. Hold on. I switched devices and headsets, and then I listened to it on a different device. And the guests are feeding back and on the YouTube stream. And the guests are feeding
Okay, hold on a second. Let me listen to this. Just a second.
back. Test.
Whoa, that is true.
Test.
Fix the audio.
You fixed it. Okay, so sorry about that.
No, is it fixed now?
Yeah, it seems to be. You have to listen to it on YouTube, but it's not coming back to me now, so stream here. So
hold on 1 second. Let me.
Seems to be fixed.
I think I know it is. Is it fixed now still?
Yeah, it seems good. Yeah.
Okay, everybody, let me know in the chat if the audio's fixed. That sucks. That
Trying
there's
to
an
get
audio.
your attention in chat and stuff, but
yeah, sorry, I was
doing the other guy too.
It's distract. If I read chat while I'm listening to somebody, I'm not being respectful to the person that's my guest. So
I do handles too. I get it.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Let me just double check and make sure this is okay on my side. Let me see.
Sure.
An immersive list.
See here. Hold on 1 second.
An immersive list.
See here. Hold on. Okay, it sounds like it's fixed. Okay, what say you, 10th man?
All right, so no, it's feedback back again.
No way! Come on.
You did. Yep.
Come on. Let me get
whatever
rid of
you
this.
did.
How about now? Is it better?
So nope. Yeah, still doing that.
Okay, I must have a window open.
What's going on?
I got to have a window open somewhere. Let's see. Hold on 1 second.
It was worse with the other guy. You could barely understand what he was saying.
Oh, damn. That's why people were dropping off.
Yeah.
Let's see. Hold on 1 second. I must have a window open here.
I'm not sure.
Could be.
I'll let you know when it goes away, though.
All right. It could be
Because you had to fix there for a minute. Whatever you did. Test. Yeah,
Still not fixed?
No, it's still doing it.
I have no idea what I did. Here, let me go back to my window.
I don't know. You've done something there a moment ago. I know it's hard running streams, dude. And they change stream yards, and I know how much work this is.
What was the reverb before we started doing the call-in?
No, you're fine. It's the guests that are feeding back. And the other guy was doing it too on the YouTube side. So I know it's not just me.
Right. Let us see here.
I switched devices and headsets. And
Right.
I thought it was me.
I'll tell you what. I'm not sure how I fixed it the last time.
I don't know what you did.
Still echoing.
You would click something, and then it went away for we were talking, and then you did something again, and it came back.
Let me get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. How about now? I'm closing all my X windows.
Still doing.
X that out.
Sorry everybody, slight intermission.
Yeah,
we're just trying to fix the tech issue for you.
Okay, let me do what I think that I did before.
All right.
My apologies, guys.
Test. Still doing it.
My okay.
Test.
Yeah, I hear it. I hear it when I open up.
I finished talking. And still test.
Yeah. Okay. Man, I'm just gonna have to. I'll tell you what. I'll just do a call in some other day.
No guess. It's okay. It's okay, bro. And my opinion, real quick. Just a couple words.
Go ahead.
Human beings have. I've learned this. A propensity to prefer being indentured, and that's why they do this. Because only fire can fix this now. That's it. So
I hope you're not right.
Well, no, I am right. We'll talk someday.
All right, brother. See you. Thanks.
For now.
All right. All right, guys. I'm just gonna have to remove everybody. Yeah, it's not gonna work. Let me know if you guys can hear this. Okay. Let me just go to. We're just gonna get back on. Just gonna get back on track. Make sure that this isn't reverbing. Testing 1, 2, 3. Make sure that this isn't. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, guys. I really want to do a call in because I really want to understand what's going on here, and if we can lend any kind of solution to the problem. We'll go back to this.
Fourth Amendment.
Okay. Well, the fourth.
Oh, wait a second. We're going to go back to what's going on in LA. My apologies about the call-in, guys. You think it's StreamYard? How is it StreamYard, though? What the heck is going on? And how did I fix it? How did I fix that? I don't know. I do not know. I want to go back to Nick Shirley. He had some interesting interactions as well.
Worse later tonight. What's your message to these police officers out here today?
Oh yeah. Listen to not this guy. There's another guy. Maybe it is this guy. This guy right here said something halfway decent.
I just met the
Wait, we're gonna go to this. I don't know. Have you ever seen the episode of It's Pat where they spend the whole episode, every segment, to try to figure out if Pat is a guy or a girl? That's what this person right here reminds me of. Not this person, but this person here.
Fuck Donald Trump! Fuck Donald Trump! Fuck fascism! Let our people free! Suelta nuestra gente! Let our people free! Let our people free!
I'm not sure what you're saying there, Mario. Are you saying losing you because of the reverb or what?
Suelta nuestra gente! Let our people free!
What's the windblower for?
Just for the fucking tear gas to blow it back at those motherfuckers! If you have a fucking blower, bring it up! Push him back!
What a character, man. What a character.
We will not do 1992 again with your fucking tents! I was 12 then! I'm 44 now! I will die for my fucking kids! And all of these young people are here are my fucking kids! Because I'm an LA native mom! These are my fucking children you're fighting! You! Major Bass, if you can hear me, expect my ass in your office on Monday for attacking my children! This is our city, and this was Mexico! You can't kick us out of the land that was ours!
If you could say something to Donald Trump right now, what would you say?
Donald Trump!
Listen to this.
You can suck my left nut, you can get out of my fucking drawer!
You can suck my left nut. It's like, oh, we thought you were a... never mind.
You're just Mecca Salma Hayek when you give it the time of day, bitch! And because Claudia Sheinbaum make you look like a fucking loser!
What do you mean by your sign?
Okay, so this guy makes some kind of sense. We're in our republic. We're not in their blue line Nazi camp. Now, there's a lot I agree with on that sign right there.
I mean that, like, we all the power in this country comes from the people who established the republic. The streets are safe and secure because we decide not to make them unsafe. And like the way we're being treated on some level is as if we were captives in a concentration camp. We're innocent until proven guilty. Innocent until proven guilty. It's not like they could just drag people off the street just because they think that they're guilty.
That is true. That is true, guys. We actually have conservatives, people who are pro-Trump. You know, call me a TDSer or not, but we have people who are pro-Trump actually calling for martial law in the streets of America. You know what that means? That means a complete suspension, like an outright, overt suspension of every right that you could possibly have. Do you really want that? Do you really trust the government that much?
With these deportations, they say they're deporting the worst of the worst. Do you think they're deporting the worst of the worst, or do you think they're just taking anybody and anybody?
No, I just think they're taking anybody and everybody. I live over by a Home Depot, and they were just like dragging guys off the street who were trying to earn a day's work. You know.
And what would you like to see them do with these deportations?
Well, I mean, if there are criminals and they're found to be doing crimes and they are illegal immigrants, then they should be like charged or tried in a court of law and maybe deported.
And you have to understand, to run a successful psychological operation, there has to be a seemingly legitimate justification. And so to run that operation, you got to have the justification already in place. And that justification is, well, you only want legal people here, right? Now, if you only want legal people, don't worry, we're going to do our job and we're going to get rid of the illegal people. So do you really trust that the government's only going to hone in on the illegal people? And let's just ask a further question. Do you have any illegal people that live in your neck of the woods? Maybe they have a successful business. Maybe they're contributing positively to your local economy. Maybe they're like the best neighbor you could possibly have. Do you really want them deported when they're not even causing any trouble? Aren't the people that we want jailed the ones that are actually committing crimes? And who commits more crimes than the Thin Blue Line gang? Who steals more money than the Thin Blue Line gang, than the bankers, than the politicians? Organized crime, so-called, cannot hold a candle to the kind of crime, the amount of crime, the severity of crime committed by local, state, and federal authorities. It's always been like that.
The police were trying to leave today, but the protesters weren't letting them leave. What should the police do in that case if the protesters are not letting the police leave, if they're trying to go to a different location?
Yeah, that's a tricky one. I'm not sure. I saw videos, people trying to get in front of the trucks. I think on some level that's like just compounding the problem. I think like if they're going to drive away, just kind of let them drive away. I don't think that like forcing them to stay is necessarily like the best thing.
Yeah, I don't think that's like an unreasonable take to like if the police are leaving, let them leave.
Yeah, let them go. Yeah,
keep pushing back at them.
They're just gonna be like hurting people and they're running them over with their cars and like, yeah.
And you're wearing a mask. Why are so many of these protesters out here wearing masks?
Let's listen to this. This is interesting. You're wearing a mask. Why are so many of these protesters out here wearing masks?
Meanwhile, a lot of people are saying these ICE agents need to take off their masks.
And I think that Nick Shirley here is so cemented in the left versus right paradigm lie, and he's so for Donald Trump that he actually believes that the ICE agents should have anonymity and the people who are in the crowds should be exposed.
Yeah, well, in part it's like because of the Fourth Amendment gives me the right to be secure in my person and property and my personhood, and so that's part of the reason.
I have got zero problem with that. In this day and age of mass surveillance, we've got satellites in the sky. We've got all of these license plate readers and cameras on federal buildings and on light posts trying with facial recognition software. I've got no problem with somebody wearing a mask to try to hide their identity in public. But these AI generated surveillance pieces of equipment have become so advanced that some of them don't even need your face. They can recognize you through how you walk, what kind of tattoo. They can focus in on your tattoos. And if you've been identified with your tattoos and you're in a database somewhere, they can get that. You can wear glasses and you can wear a face mask. And there's a high percentage of the time where they can get who you actually are by your gait, the way you walk. Maybe they can find out who you are by your purchases with credit cards or whatever, because we've given up so much of our freedom for the sake of convenience, for the sake of entertainment, being on these social media platforms. They've been watching us for a long time. They watch our eye movements. They see our purchasing behavior. They see where we bank, what we do, who we hang out with. We're constantly being geolocated. And not only that, if you've got a cell phone turned on in your pocket, all they got to do is pinpoint who this guy is with the mask and the glasses on and get all your information from your phone. That's how advanced that they've become. Mark has just become a new member. Thank you very much, Mark. I appreciate that. Become a member. Like this video, share this video. Let's continue. This is Nick Shirley. We're going to go back to delete laws here in a second. We're on the streets of Los Angeles trying to figure out what's going on between the protesters / rioters and ICE agents, local police, and the National Guard.
I have the right, the Constitution acknowledges my right to be masked in public whenever I want to.
Should ICE agents stay masked or should they go unmasked?
Who?
ICE agents.
No, they need to be unmasked and with their name, a large identifying nameplate visible.
Yep.
Because they're public servants. They don't have a right to the constitutional rights. They don't have the right to the First, Fourth, Fifth. None of those amendments apply to them.
Yep.
They only apply to citizens, not the state.
Totally agree. Totally agree.
All four entrances of this intersection, protesters have surrounded it. Now police are coming in on all angles right now.
Oh, watch what they do to this SUV right here. This is very interesting. Again, hats off to Nick Shirley, to Chili from Delete Laws, and to everybody with the camera who's going out there trying to record this event and trying to understand what's actually going on instead of just believing fake stream media. Throwing bricks. They're going to bust this window out here. Boom, there it goes. Now they're shooting at him.
Holy cow, they're throwing bricks at the police. They were throwing bricks at the police officers, shattered the back of the police officers.
I'm telling you, if you're not walking out there with some kind of body armor and a helmet on, you can easily be hurt by any one of these people. Throwing a brick to the face would not feel good and might cause permanent damage.
Now they're taking open fire here in the streets.
Shake, shake, shake.
Looks like the National Guard, they're nowhere to be seen right now. It's just LAPD right now here in the streets.
Wow, look at this. Watch, look at this.
Just when you think it could get more crazy, the madness just continues here on the streets of LA. Now you have a big group of people all sitting down in front of the police. This is a repeat of 2020 here on the streets of LA.
What chaos. Look at this divide. You got the law enforcement agents on one side. You have the protesters on the other side. This is such chaos.
And a simple observation out here, there's pretty much every flag out here except for the flag of the United States of America. You can see here on the ground are all the remnants of all the shots, bottles, even bricks that were thrown here on the ground. Police are here. National Guard, nowhere to be seen right now. A few people have been detained. They have them right back there. They have them detained.
Who supports this chaos? I don't support this chaos. I don't want chaos like this.
In handcuffs. And now another line is coming through right here. Looks like they're going to trap everybody here inside of this intersection. Oh. People are lighting off fireworks here on the streets. That's extremely dangerous. Los Angeles has just declared that they're on tactical alert here, which means that anybody who's a part of LAPD needs to be ready to be out here no matter how long of a shift it is. They must be ready because what could break loose tonight or this evening could get extremely intense. These are already intense scenes out here. It could get even worse later tonight. What's your message to these police officers out here today?
Quit your jobs. Be the good guys. Stand for what America stands for. Stand for due process. Don't kowtow to these federal cowards. Do what's right. Follow state law. Don't assist ICE.
Follow state law. Most state laws are against the American people. This guy, your TDS supports these idiots. Okay. Clown World Observer. Man, I wish we could do this call in without the reverb. How do I have Trump derangement syndrome when I point out that the things Trump has done rival on the tyranny side what Joe Biden has done, what Kamala Harris has done, and what Barack Obama has done? You're talking about $12 trillion in 4 years under the first Trump administration in national debt, which erodes the value of the product of our time and laboring energies. Obama can only muster $8.4 trillion in 4 years or 8 years. Donald Trump did increase the national debt $12.4 trillion in 4 years. That's the $8.4 trillion. And then you have the $4 trillion Federal Reserve backstop. How is that TDS? How is it TDS when I tell you that I would decouple from, if I was ever a supporter of Obama, which I wasn't, I would decouple from Obama if I ever found out that he was bailed out by Rothschild's Inc. Unbelievable that somebody would actually say that a person who has the objective criteria by which I will not and could never support a Barack Obama or a Joe Biden or a Kamala Harris is the exact same criteria that I use to not support Donald Trump. And yet I'm the one with TDS. It sounds like that person is Clown World Observer is suffering from TWS, which is Trump worship syndrome. That's called drinking the Kool-Aid. That's being embroiled in the cult of personality.
It's pathetic, guys. Get your shit together.
Who should protect the streets in an
Listen how inconsistent this guy's thought pattern is with reference to you need to follow the laws and we're not against the LAPD.
Like this when there's a huge protest going on? Should the police even come out?
Protest?
It was getting pretty wild.
Yeah, because they started shooting. I've been here the whole time. They opened fire first.
If people start pushing at the police, what should police do?
Probably get the f out the way.
Just let them go through?
We're not here for them. We're here for
Oh, we still got audio feedback again? No way. What is going on here? Guys, are you getting audio feedback? Let me see something here. Let us see. What the heck is going on? Let's go to content, channel, live.
The fucking ICE. We're here for the feds. We want them out. LAPD,
live,
we got no beef with them. ICE. We're here for the feds. We want them out. And state law dictates that they're not supposed to aid immigrants.
Are we still doing? Oh, audio is fine. 5x5. Okay, thank you. Trolls. Thank
in
you.
any way whatsoever.
So do you think the federal
Does that make sense, guys? I want to get back on the TDS thing because I see this a lot. It's a favorite for a lot of people who want you on their side and they condemn you for not being on the side of Donald Trump. But does it make sense to support a guy when this guy does worse things than the guy that you're not supporting? And it does lead me to ask the question always, if you still support Trump at this point in time, father the VAXX, you got Operation Warp Speed, you got Space Farce, you got the $6.2 trillion CARES Act, giving the pens to the Zio International Banking Cartel behind you, just laughing all the way, working with, not against the Federal Reserve, not doing anything about the IRS, bailed out by Rothschilds Inc. And the list goes on and on. I like take the guns first, due process second, red flag gun confiscation laws. If that's not enough for you to withdraw your support from Donald Trump, what exactly would he have to do to get you to wake up and go, you know what? Wow, he's working for the same team owners as Obama and Biden and Harris. I don't understand it. Lisa Gordon says, why can't we all just get along? I wish we could. You don't have TDS. Don't let the sheeple get to you. No, but I do. It's not that it gets to me. I guess it kind of does because I'm a human being. But I do want to understand it. Are people just saying it because they're regurgitating it? Are people just saying it because they are in the cult of personality and they feel like they have to defend their position, their guy, no matter what? What exactly is going on? Can we actually talk to somebody who's suffering from cognitive dissonance and then plant the brush fire of freedom inside of them and watch them really let it go, not just say they're letting it go? You should research Trump. They should research Trump and then they might change their mind about him. No, your audio is good. Thanks, Lisa. Thank you very much. Appreciate you supporting the channel.
Government's overstepping their reach coming in here to LA with
man,
Karen
100%.
Bass and Gavin Newsom?
100%. Even Gavin said that.
Who do you trust more, Gavin Newsom or Donald Trump?
I trust what I see. I don't trust Gavin. Gavin's kind of a scumbag.
And how do you think I should carry out with these deportations? They say they're going
Oh man, I wish he didn't do that editing cut there. I want to hear what this guy says about this because that was kind of a good question.
here to LA with
man.
Karen.
Let's see.
So do you think the federal government's overstepping their reach coming in here to LA with
man.
Karen
100%.
Bass and Gavin Newsom?
100%. Even Gavin said that.
Who do you trust more, Gavin Newsom or Donald Trump?
I trust what I see. I don't trust Gavin. Gavin's kind of a scumbag.
And how do you think I should carry out with these deportations?
The correct answer is I don't trust Gavin Newsom or Donald Trump because I don't trust the government. And then put that on Nick Shirley and go, do you trust the government? And Nick Shirley would have to say, to be consistent and to not be a hypocrite, well, I trust the government under Donald Trump because he does. So what has the government done for you to get you to be on the side of putting your confidence and trust in the government? Luzbel says, can we do a Telegram call? I'm a dual citizen. I'd have to figure out. I'd have to figure out how to do that. I'd have to figure out. And I'm not going to do that on a live stream because that's going to waste your time.
They say they're going after the worst of the worst.
But I do, guys, put a 1 in the room if you want me to continue this conversation on another live stream where I've got the audio dialed in so you're not having to listen to reverb because I don't want to subject my audience to something like that.
There's over
They're clearly
20 million.
They're clearly not. They're rating school graduations. They're rating workplaces. They're rating job sites. Those aren't the worst of the worst. Those are employees. Those are people that are contributing to their communities. They're not going after the worst of the worst. That's a fucking lie that's been fed to you by Fox fucking News.
What should they do if someone has an illegal status here, whether they're the most dangerous or if they're just the dad working?
What do you mean by illegal status? Do you mean undocumented?
Undocumented, illegal, like illegally.
Because being undocumented in the United States is not a criminal offense; it is a civil offense. So it's not a crime. It's not a crime. Full stop.
You got shot here today.
Yeah.
History Bear says buy a cell phone outright that can be loaded with privacy operating systems like Graphene OS or Calyx OS. Combine those with the VPN with mock location active and happy finding that person. That's a way to add an extra layer to make them work harder, but they can still find you, in my opinion. What's up, Modern Retro Radio? Thanks for being here. The interviewer is, I don't know if he's controlled opposition, but I do know, Modern Retro Radio, that Nick Shirley is decidedly pro MAGA, pro Donald Trump, which is disappointing.
And how bad did the bullet hurt?
At first, I got 10.
This is the whole look at the damage that one of those rubber bullets does right here. Look at this.
Instantly, because
and Chili got hit by a rubber bullet, I think. Let's go back to, we're going to toggle between Nick Shirley and Delete Laws. Delete Laws did a good job on this.
You guys got to do me a favor. There's almost 3,000 people in here. Double tap your screen. Take your finger real quick.
We're also going to go back to Alex Jones.
You got a canister to the leg? One of those? Holy shit. So let's walk the line here. Thanks.
You know, I don't mind having a conversation. I used to be like, when I was younger, I used to be like, no, man, people need to see things my way. I want to listen to people. I want to hear, and really not just hear, but understand where they're coming from. I want to know why somebody wants to vote for, why would you vote for Kamala Harris? Why would you support her? Why would you give her donation money? Why are you embroiled in the DNC? And on the other side of it, why are you supporting Donald Trump? What exactly is it? What keeps you from supporting these people, but you really support these people when these people are clearly working for the same team owners? Guys, when Trump got into office, I thought for sure, and a lot of people thought for sure, he is going to arrest Hillary Clinton. That fizzled very, very quickly. A lot of people thought for sure when Donald Trump comes into the White House, they're going to release every bit of the unredacted Epstein files and the JFK and the 9/11. No, didn't happen. It's not going to happen. And you can predict that it's not going to happen because it's not in their interest to tell you the truth. It's in their interest to tear down the truth. The first casualty in any war is the truth. So when I'm talking to somebody that disagrees with me, I want to be on their side if they're on the right side. If they have the highest moral argument, if they have a consistent, non-hypocritical ideology that doesn't harm people, that doesn't call for people to be harmed, that doesn't call for psychopathic tendencies like trusting the government. People don't have to see things my way, but I would like to understand where people are coming from and why people support a Donald Trump and why they would make fun of you for not only not supporting him, but exposing him for the criminal that he really is, for the parasitic banker dangling puppet that he is, just like you would do to Barack Obama. That's why it drives me crazy when somebody who has a large audience like Alex Jones continues to play the left versus right paradigm lie game when you know Alex Jones knows full well that that is a very dangerous game that destroys America. It doesn't build America up.
How much training you do? Fucking crazy.
I'm trying to find out where.
Where's Bowie? Where's Bowie?
I want to see him engage more of these officers.
What's the ultimate plan?
Okay, here we go.
I mean, what's the ultimate plan? Do you know? What's the ultimate plan? You don't know? Because I mean, kettling people is it's gonna cause violence. You know that. If you close in from all sides, the people are eventually gonna fight back. I don't want to see that. And by the way, you don't got to shoot me with that thing. I'm not gonna fight you, dude. You don't got to shoot me. I'm not gonna fight you. I'm not gonna be pushing you, fighting you. I'm a law-abiding citizen. I can tell you that. I don't agree with the graffiti all over the walls down here. I hate that.
Wait a second. Don't you love, I mean, illegals? God, have we really come to the point in our humanity where we're going to look at other humans and label them as legal or illegal, and then categorize them as such because our political overlords have told us that that's how we should view people. And then you got a vast array of people who are willing to turn in their fellow human being to a government they know they can't trust, and they're going to do it anyway. I don't understand that, Alan Hill. Please explain to me what makes somebody legal or illegal. I'm only concerned about if you're a criminal or not. And by criminal, I mean, have you committed a crime? Have you harmed somebody against their will and without their consent? Have you damaged property and refused to pay for it? Have you stolen from property from somebody who doesn't want their properties? In other words, have you been a cruddy human being to other human beings? Are you doing to others what you wouldn't want done to you, but you're going to do it anyway? Then you probably need to be removed from society, and you're a danger to the rest of us.
But it's just
wait. Okay, is it echoing again? Because now people are saying it's echoing again. So is it echoing or not?
Tactics you guys employ is really rough. You know, like I don't think you're going to disperse the crowd that way without violence. You know, so I hope it doesn't go down to more. But
Spy versus Spy says no, it's not. It's not echoing. So we're good. It's not, says Tom. Thanks, Tom.
But it's look bad all day. You know.
You know, I would love to be friends with everybody. I know that people don't really want that, though. I would love for us all to get along, but I know that there are going to be people in society who are going to commit crimes against others and violate their will. But the last thing, if the problem with society is that we have people out there that are violating will, if they're out there being violent to people or stealing people's stuff that don't want to be stolen from, then if that's the problem with society, then the last thing you want to do is give people unbridled, unchecked power and authority through some state, local, or federalized government to protect the rest of us. That makes zero sense to me.
Anybody die today?
Thank you, guys. Thanks for weighing in on the audio. Appreciate that.
Well, God bless.
Hit that like button, hit that share button, and if you like this commentary video, if you like these live streams and you want to see more of them, let me know. If you want to support the channel, I really appreciate it. It's never expected, but it's definitely always appreciated.
So like basic training teaches you that this is not a good, no, I'm not. But well, no, it makes sense to me. But you're flanked. You're flanked on the backside. There's people behind you. Yeah, not very many though.
Brandon says, Brian, let the illegals come in and lay in bed with you and your wife. That's silly. That's silly. Why do you say that? Why do you say that? Do you want the government to have control of who they declare to be illegal or legal? Oh, they can stay in the country, but these people can't. If the United States government was really opposed to people harming Americans, then would we have a thing called Washington's District of Criminals? Would we have the IRS? Would we have the Federal Reserve? Would we have all of these spy agencies like the FBI and the CIA spying on us, or the ATF telling us what firearm we can have and what we can't have, and you can't modify this, you can't have that high capacity magazine? Who's worse? Who does the greatest amount of damage to you, Brandon, on a daily basis? Some illegal somewhere, or some politician who decided to steal from a whole bunch of people in this area to give to people who didn't earn it? If you ask me, I think all politicians should be jailed. Every politician who has ever signed on to a bill to go to war, or increase the coffers of the prison industrial complex, or give a big fat pay raise to defense contractors, or made some kind of legislation like they just did in Texas, where they banned THC products, which literally criminalizes everybody who possesses those THC products. See, that's what I have a problem with on these bans. When you ban something, you're criminalizing people, and then you're treating innocent people as criminals, and you're violating your oath to serve and protect. It's all just this hypocritical dog chasing its tail. So, Brandon, you tell me, who has caused you more problems? Who has raised your prices more than anything? Who has economically damaged you? Who has threatened your family with gun control laws and drug war laws? Was it the illegals, or was it the perfectly legal legislators in the Senate houses and the state houses? Cosmic Beat just became a new member. Thank you, Cosmic Beat. Let me see if I can find that so I can give you a shout out here. Proper shout out. Cosmic Beat, thank you. If I am wrong, if I am in error, if I am misguided by anything that I say, let me have it. I deserve it. I deserve correction.
I hope you guys don't go to violence and the crowd doesn't go to violence. You know what I mean?
We'll figure it out. We've been there before.
I think the tactics, these procedures and protocols of.
Come along. You should be on the team.
Oh shit. What happens? What happens to you later in life is you go through really bad PTSD, and when you retire, when you
13 years of military service never happened.
well, listen, I appreciate your service, but
I know how to deal with it.
but we're not enemy combatants. We're not POWs. We're just Americans.
I don't appreciate his service because I know what his service was, and a lot of former military guys will tell you this exact same thing. I was there to serve the interests of the banking elite, the people who own the military industrial complex. When I signed on the dotted line, I lost my soul because I just became an order follower, and I had to do what I was told or I would get severely penalized. That's what people who are actually in the military have said to me. I'm out there wasting time, I'm wasting resources, and I'm doing it on a tax cattle dime.
Americans. You know what I mean? But if you did 13 years in the military, then you treat us like we're part of the Afghanistan.
You guys are acting like clowns.
I'm not acting like a clown at all.
Well, you gotta be part of the group.
I'm peacefully protesting, officer. I'm not acting like a clown. I haven't called you any names or screamed at you or, I haven't done any of that.
At least this cop tried to talk to him.
I mean, I feel like military personnel should be banned from being police officers. Well, because it teaches you guys a form of.
I'm gonna tell you right now, we're about to move, all right?
What do you mean to back up this way? You guys are gonna push forward here? All right, I'll back up. I'm not gonna fight you. If you walk forward, I'll happily back up for you. I'm not going to fight a police officer, especially because there's 3,000 people watching.
Wow,
I don't plan on fighting you, man.
This is interesting.
So which way do you guys want the crowd to go here? What's the goal? I mean, there are thousands and thousands of people here. I don't know how you're gonna. I mean, let's be honest. Human beings are pretty.
Yeah, I can deal just briefly with this because it's long, but it's simple. It's just simple. Brian, I want to hear your opinion on how a functioning society would operate without governance. I'm genuinely curious. Let's define governance first. What does it mean to govern? To govern means to control. And the way government works, it's to control somebody against their will without their consent. You don't have a say in it. It's like, hey, these are the rules. And because we have this thing called the social contract, which none of us ever signed, none of us ever agreed to, you got to obey it. And if you disobey it, then we're going to come and get you. So the predicate for governments is their foundation is violence. Like even George Washington, who was a part of the government, president of the United States, for goodness sakes, said government is not eloquence, it's not reason, it's force. And like fire, it's a dangerous servant and a fearful master. That is what government is. If you remove the element of coercion, if you remove the element of violence, you no longer have government. So what you're saying is, with that in mind, the definition of governance is to enforce one's will through threats and coercion and violence. That's government. So let's reread your question. I want to hear your opinion on how a functioning society would operate without coercion, without threats, and without brutality and violence. That's kind of silly to me. We can't have a functioning society without people getting robbed and ruled and threatened and violated. You can't have a functioning society. And then I would just say, well, we have something that we can look at that's highly complex, yet highly organized and seemingly smooth running without governance. In other words, without the exertion of force and control and theft and extortion. And that is, just look at your most complex grocery store or supermarket. You have a whole bunch of people who don't know each other, who've decided to sell their their product in a market that demands their product, or they wouldn't be stocking the shelves. And yet you have Wrigley Spearmint gum sitting next to the National Enquirer, which is sitting next to Reese's Pieces, which is sitting next to, some bouquet of flowers. None of these people have anything to do with each other. And yet in the common marketplace, they've somehow coordinated and come together, and tens of thousands. You can't even count the amount of items. There's meat and eggs in the cooler. There's dental floss. There's toothpaste. There's tires in the tire section. There are dresses and shorts hanging on shelves. None of these producers and manufacturers had anything to do with each other. And yet all of these different items, tens, hundreds of thousands, came together in this one location, and it's being managed by this organization that has nothing to do with coercing you, threatening you, robbing you, pretending to rule you. And yet it all comes together in a decentralized way. And prices are set, and sales are agreed upon. If you don't like the product, you don't buy it. And then the person either fixes the product and makes it better and lowers the price, or they go out of business. That is how anarchy works. You don't need rulers to sell your pen. You don't need rulers to say, hey, you want this? You want to buy this little bowl right here? You want to buy this coffee mug? Well, I'm going to make you pay for it, or I'm going to rob somebody or extort them so we can get money so that we can create a coffee cup company. That's what governments have, a monopoly on force and violence. That's what subsidies are all about. Hey, maybe the American people don't demand a corn crop this year. Oh, we're going to subsidize it anyway. We're going to subsidize the tobacco industry, and we're going to make hemp illegal, which works in the favor of the big pharma industrial complex and the cartels. The big pharma industrial cartels are highly incentivized to sell their products and get politicians to create laws like they're doing in Texas right now with SB 3, that's making it illegal for Texans to buy, sell, transport, or even possess THC products. Well, who benefits from that? Always ask yourself, who benefits? Key bono. Follow the money. Oh, that's right. It's going to benefit big pharma. And now all these people who are experiencing positive benefits from THC gummies, for example, which one former Marine guy said he only has to pay $90 for, but if he goes the medical route, his opioids are going to cost like $500, and plus he'll get addicted, and that's going to lead to a whole nother string of problems. So to ask the question, how would a functioning society operate without force, coercion, theft, and violence? We have examples all over the place. Look at your daily life. You got up today because you wanted to get up at a certain time, not because anybody told you to get up at a certain time, not because anybody told you to use a certain brand of toothbrush or toothpaste or laundry detergent, or the clothes that you wear. You can put on whatever clothes you want to. Nobody's got to make that decision for you. I think we can operate society along the same way. If anybody disagrees, let me know. JT says an anarchist or libertarian state, for that matter, can only exist in a high trust society. European, the melting pot is brought to you by the juice Everyone needs to go back home or it's over. I'm not sure I fully understand that. I'm not sure I fully understand that. High trust society. The melting pot is brought to you by the juice. What am I missing there?
I mean, state-run media, why would you guys go back there? Why wouldn't you be here where the actual action is? What? Why would you go behind the line? Why wouldn't you?
I'm not trying to go behind the line. I'm just trying to go.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see what's happening.
Yeah, yeah. Because I figure you guys would want to actually see what's really. Gotcha.
State-run media. I wonder who that was. Was that CNN?
The state-run media is here. Let's see what they pick up from this. These cops are about to make a push on us here. Maybe they start shooting right away. I'm not sure how this works right now.
Let's advance this.
Funny. You know, God bless you, bro, but you. That is funny. That is funny. You know, God bless you, bro, but you do look like Super Mario. That is funny. A moment of brevity, huh? Moment of brevity. That is funny. That is funny. Do your friends call you Super Mario?
Oh, juice. Gotcha. Good way to get. I love tricks to confound the algorithm. So juice, I get it. Thanks. The juice. I actually don't like it. I don't like grouping one people together. It's an ideology. It's a supremacist ideology. Like I have friends that are Jays that are completely against the Zionists. They don't have the ideology where they want to dominate the world. So I disagree with that. And I definitely remain corrected and open on that. Oh, he took a rubber bullet to the chest. Yeah, I know. I'm trying to get to that. Yeah, I'm not for any kind of supremacist ideology. Let's see. Let's see where he gets hit.
Because Terry versus Ohio, it's just you don't got to worry. I'm not going to attack you. I'm not going to punch you, push you, kick you. I'm not going to throw anything at you. Just so you know. So if you want to start hitting people, you don't got to hit me. You know.
All right, let's get back to the Alex Jones show here.
And then we have all the documents, the front loading, hundreds of billions of dollars of EPA, Department of Energy.
Alex Jones is pro-Zio. He is a Zio supporter. He's become an unbelievable gatekeeper for the Zios.
USAID money flooding at 10, 15, 20 times, 30 times the case of the Department of Energy. Any amount of money they ever put out in the 76 days Trump was president-elect, they flooded NGOs alone. I got a list here in LA.
And how is that possible? How is that possible? Because we don't have a sound currency system based on sound money like gold and silver. We don't have it. And because we have a cheap, easy credit system and now everything's gone digital, we're able to put zeros and ones in people's accounts who don't deserve it, including the NGOs.
Million.
Alex Jones should be calling this out. It's not a leftist or a rightist thing. It's a Zio international banking
35
thing.
million, 32 million, 60 million, 70 million, 2 million, 8 million, 5 million to all of these migrant defense groups. Hundreds of millions of dollars to Black Lives Matter. All gearing up for this. And then you've got Senator Murphy and others all over the place saying this goes nationwide. And we've got all the Antifa documents, Black Lives Matter documents.
We're going back and forth. We'll go back to Chili's video in a second.
La Raza documents in the last few weeks saying we go in the middle of June. And then they build up. But I told you in January, LA will be the trigger. And then within a week of those riots, they will go nationwide. I know the enemy. Getting chills right now.
I know the enemy too. And he is one of the enemies of the people is Alex Jones.
Because the fact that we are so ahead of them on this, I'm seeing the general public really click to this and really get this. But the Democrats had this plan, and they are going with the plan, despite the fact that we spotlighted it. This is not going to go well for them. And they're going to end up getting the martial law they wanted. They think they pushed Trump into an emergency by having the cities overwhelmed and standing down, burning apartment complexes, you name it, being paid to do this. And then Trump sends in the military. And then behind the military.
Oh, yeah. You saw with Alex Jones and his promotion of the Cybertruck and Elon Musk and Donald Trump, and then the side that he took, or the posturing he took when the Elon Musk, Donald Trump thing hit the fan last week. This guy has no moral bearings at all. His compass was thrown out a long time ago.
Behind ice from an apartment or from a van or from a high rise or from their favorite thing in these would be a parking garage. A Trump supporter, supposedly, will be found dead. They'll be found dead. Maybe 3 or 4 of them will open fire into these crowds. And
no
then
doubt.
That gives the pretext because all of.
Oh, yeah. I don't doubt that at all. That would be interesting. Let's go to Truth Social. Let's see if Donald Trump's saying anything right now, which he always does. Let's get the latest from Donald Trump on Truth Social. Oh, wait a second. Let's go to this. One big, beautiful bill. Boost Border Patrol and ICE agents on the front lines with the largest border security investment in history. That's decidedly anti-American. Two hours ago, if they spit, we will hit. This is a statement from the President of the United States concerning the catastrophic Gavin Newsom inspired riots going on in Los Angeles. The insurrectionists have a tendency to spit in the face of the National Guardsmen and women and others. These patriots are told to accept this. It's just the way life runs, but not in the Trump administration. If they spit, we will hit. And I promise you, they will hit harder than they have ever been hit before. Much disrespect. Oh, such disrespect will not be tolerated. We made a great decision sending the National Guard to deal with the violent instigated riots in California. If we had not done so, Los Angeles would have been completely obliterated. The very incompetent Governor Gavin Newsom and Mayor Karen Bass should be saying, "Thank you, President Trump. You are so wonderful. We would be nothing without you, sir." Instead, this is totally feeding in to the left versus right, because Team MAGA loves this kind of stuff because they hate Gavin Newsom, and both Gavin Newsom and Donald Trump are working on the same team, befuddling the same audience, just like a WWE dog and pony show in a real WWE World Wrestling Entertainment event, when you have the bad guy and the good guy, and they're both in it together. They both choreographed. The people in the audience think, hey, that's a bad one. That's the good one right there. A lot of people in the audience still really think this is bad versus good, because people love that. They love the antagonist and protagonist. And then when the show's over and the lights go down behind the curtain, they're splitting the money, the profits among themselves and having a beer because they're on the same team, just like Donald Trump is on the same team as Gavin Newsom. And I agree, it's Gavin Newsom, but it's also Donnie red flag law, gun confiscation, Trump. Donnie likes gun confiscation just as much as Gavin Newsom. Instead, they choose to lie to the people of California and America by saying we weren't needed and that these are peaceful protests. Just one look at the pictures and videos of the violence and destruction tells you all you have to know. What if the Violence and destruction and the lack of peace happened because the cops initiated mayhem. We will always do what is needed to keep our citizens safe so we can together make America great again. What a great justification to initiate the violence of the state on peaceful people who haven't done anything wrong. Back to delete laws.
I mean, you don't have to hit me with that stick. I'm not going to try to fight you at all. I'll pretty much just say, why are you hitting me? Why are you hitting me? You know what I mean? You see what I'm saying? That way we could hopefully de-escalate something here, you know, try to get it so it's a little bit less violent, right?
How are you gonna do that to kids? You're not only traumatizing families, you're traumatizing children. What do I tell them? Should they trust cops or not? Right? Keep on chewing your gum, sir. That's called nervous right there. That's why you're chewing gum, right? Keep on laughing because that's a fool people. That's all right. But I'm going to pray for you, brother. I'm going to pray for you, sister. I'm going to pray for others. It's all good, brother. I'll pray for myself. I'm going to pray for you guys. Did you guys double tap on the screen? Double tap on the screen. Take your finger and do this for me. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button. Double tap on the screen. Hit the subscribe button for me, please. I walk by here, you know, my ribs are exposed. I keep on expecting to get a stick right in the ribs. I want to find a trash can here so I can throw this in the...
Chili does end up getting hit by a rubber bullet here in a second. Not sure exactly what timestamp it's on. If anybody knows the timestamp, let me know.
I'm interested in changing this country. That's what I'm interested in. That's funny. A lot of you guys are saying, oh, it's the date. No, it's section team DL. Yep. I'm Chili. What's your name? Nice to meet you. Picture. Oh, put it next to me if I didn't say thank you. I'll check the live stream later. Let's come in. Thank you guys. I appreciate that. Good. Right out of here. Sunburned. I'm gonna be sunburned when I get out of here. Not good. Plus I got hit right in the ear. You see that right?
Oh yeah, I fully expect all this stuff to be happening. It's going to happen probably nationwide, just like Alex Jones said, probably in the next week or two. I can see this easily happening in Seattle, Portland.
Big shout out to Sandy, everybody. Thanks for the support, Sandy.
New York.
Part of some stuff this week cost me $300. I appreciate. Before you grab the stick, I appreciated the demeanor. Appreciate it. Like this one. There you go, bro. There you go. You don't got to hold the stick up. There you go. Nice and comite. Like this guy. See that? It's like that. See how relaxed he is? If the rest of you guys look like this, it'd be less violence. You can ask. She's not going to answer.
That was the hour and 50 mark. Let's go over there.
Can I just see your name tag so I can just get a record of it? Officer? The push is imminent. They're going to push any second now. These cops are going to come down any second. These cops are going to come down here any second.
Apparently, all of downtown Los Angeles has been declared an unlawful assembly area. All right, Trump has sent Marines to the LA area, according to this report right here from the Daily Mail. Trump sends Marines to the LA riots and threatens to arrest criminal Gavin Newsom. Live updates. Let's see where we at here. Hundreds of Marines have been mobilized to Los Angeles after Donald Trump sent National Guard troops to quell the immigration protests. Chaos erupted after protesters clashed with immigration officials across downtown Los Angeles over the weekend. Let's see if we got a live update. This is from the 9th, which is today at 7:47 Eastern Daylight Time.
Jen has two choices. Become a AAA member and get peace of mind. Or
joining us now, border czar for the Trump administration.
Oh, God, MSNBC.
Tom Homan. Mr. Homan, thank you for joining us this morning. We have
Tom's looking rough, man. He is looking rough. Holy cow. We'll read some more of this in a second. I want to see if we can find out where Chili got hit by the rubber bullet.
Hit a thirst cars.
All right, here we go. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Shooting from the mounted patrol here. Using horses and dogs as weapons, I see.
Hands up. Hands are up. My hands are up. Don't shoot. Hands are up. Don't shoot at me. He aimed that right at me. This is crazy.
I think this is where Chili gets shot. And you know what's crazy about this is he'll get shot. Somebody will get out there and get hurt. And people who are against him will rejoice at the pain that was inflicted on somebody who's just trying to document what's going on.
Hands up. Don't shoot me. They're hitting him with a stick. Watch her! Watch her! Watch her! Watch her! Don't hurt her!
This is happening in America, guys.
Shot in the chest.
Oh.
Shot.
This is America, guys. This is America. Let's go back here.
Shot in the chest. Shot. Him right. Got me right in the chest. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. They're shooting at us. They're shooting at us. Watch your eye.
Yeah, it's probably not a good idea to stand behind people who are lobbing heavy objects at the cops. You're probably going to get hit.
Guys, watch your eyes.
Yeah, I would say a prerequisite for going out to something like this is headgear, including eye gear, and maybe wear a cup and maybe have some kind of a vest on.
They're shooting at us. We got to fall back. They're shooting at us. God dang it. Yeah, I'll be all right. It's because a little bruise. I'll be okay. Definitely hurts.
Can you imagine if Biden called out the National Guard troops to come to your community? How against Biden you would be for that? And yet Team MAGA is not against this.
Hit me hard.
Yeah, there you go right there. That shows you how much the politicians care about you. You can't even have a defensive vest on. If you wear a defensive vest, I've heard that bulletproof vests are illegal in California too. What does that tell you? We don't even want you to have protection against us or other criminals. We want to have protection, but we can't have you have protection.
They're pursuing us. We gotta run. We gotta run. Oh, God damn it. Oh, God damn it. Shot me right in the chest. Shot me in the chest with a rubber bullet.
All right, I just looked this up. California law permits the general public to buy and own bulletproof vests for personal protection. This includes individuals who want to protect themselves or their families. There's a felony exception. Individuals with felony convictions are restricted from owning or possessing body armor, which is ridiculous to me, because if they are trusted to be let out of prison, then they should have all of their rights restored. This restriction is in place to prevent criminals from using body armor to enhance their ability to commit violence. So apparently it is legal to have body armor, to wear body armor in California.
Guys sent to me on my commissary area, and you guys caused the team DLZ to be like, how do we get them?
Let's go back to Alex Jones. I'm sure he's got some more interesting things to say about this.
This, as I told you, will blow up in their face once they start the riots, unless they have the final ingredient. And
guys, this is not the America that I want to live in. I don't want to be walking down the streets and go, oh my gosh, we now live in a third world country. Look at all these burning Teslas here.
And it's not just I can extrapolate that.
I mean, can you imagine the fumes, the toxic fumes going into the atmosphere just from these burning vehicles here?
Out with deduction and knowing the enemy operations over the decades. The color revolutions like Operation Gladio in Europe. That's what this is. CIA run. This is Gladio America 2.0. They said that when the evil ICE comes to get the precious illegal aliens and human traffickers and drug dealers,
And it is illegal ICE.
MS-13, TDA, and others. That Trump and the Border Patrol and the Army and Tom Homan will kill migrants in mass and will kill black people. And so black people need to rise up now. James Carville.
This is what Alex Jones is saying on his show.
And others, like 1776, and kill the Trump supporters. And you see the black preachers, turns out, you know, his wife, a big NGO, just an example, Chattanooga, Tennessee. Elon Musk is stealing your Social Security. Never did any such thing. We need to kill him. Jesus says.
Yeah, I agree. Whoever's doing property destruction needs to be removed from society. I think we can all agree on the basics, right? If somebody commits a crime, if somebody violates the will of another, if there's a rapist or a murderer or a kidnapper out there, they should be put in jail and removed from society. Doesn't matter who they are. Doesn't matter what title they have. Doesn't matter what kind of uniform they got on. They don't get to walk away free and clear if they harm somebody, damage somebody's stuff, or do something that you and I would be thrown in jail for. Even if it's a cop, even if it's a politician, they should go to jail. That's the hard line we should take. That's how society would improve. But we have a sliding scale here. We've got two different scripts. We've got the haves and the have-nots, the lawmakers, and you're supposed to be the law abider, and the lawmakers and the law enforcers don't even follow their own law.
Kill him. It's the same talking points. The View. Trump's coming to kill the migrants. We need to be ready to fight and die. 86-47.
Well, didn't Alex Jones say that in Piers Morgan years ago? If you come and take our guns, 1776 will commence again.
And they're selling it everywhere like Trump and the military, the National Guard, are the bad guys. And little groups of outnumbered federal police and police guarding federal buildings as Molotov cocktails and fireworks and rocks and bottles are thrown at them. But you don't ever see this on the corporate news. They just have Newsom and other stamps say, this is peaceful. This is
no, you see it on the corporate news.
no big deal. How dare Trump come and do this?
There is a spin coming from corporate news, but they'll show the burning cars because it sells. It creates ad revenue and generates clicks.
This is Cloward and Piven. This is final communist strategy, collapse the country. People with Mexican flags everywhere. Again, most Hispanics are loyal, great Americans and hate this, but in LA and other areas, there are, I'd say, a third of the Hispanic population have been taught to hate America, have been taught California should still belong to Mexico, Aslan, and that this mythical uprising is coming, and it was all CIA liberation theology funded. So this is incredible. And I have told you this hundreds and hundreds of times until your ears bled. Because this would be the main move if their other actions bled.
What did Trump say here?
And I have told you this is coming, and it was all CIA is incredible. There are, again, most theology funded.
I want to go to looking really bad in LA. Bring in the troops.
Because this would be the main move if their other actions failed. And it's here. And now we have the mayor this morning. It's coming up. Bass, the admitted Cuban spy. I mean, she admits she worked for the Cuban government for decades as a communist organizer. Went to Cuba for commands every 6 months on record, on the payroll of the communist Cubans.
That is crazy that somebody like that could be the mayor of Los Angeles.
She is now saying that they are directing the rioters. Meanwhile, the police say they're completely overwhelmed. And now in many cities around LA, they're saying, we are not going to help. We are going to stand down. This is it. Remember, they control the blue cities.
He sounds like a gay bullfrog.
It's going to hit Austin. It's going to hit Dallas. It's going to hit everywhere. Almost every city is controlled by them with their DAs and their people in control. Our own reporter was killed by anti-America, pro-Macho La Raza Mexican supremacist. And a black man who said he loved killing the white man. That's how bad this is. Where I sit, the crime rate's tripled since the communists took over Austin 5 years ago.
Let's see if he's got anything else to say here.
Defend invaders. You know, that bridge right there, I have a story to tell about that bridge that I haven't seen anywhere else. You know, with the rocks being thrown down. The LAPD is being torn apart, and it's going to divide along sectarian lines or ethnic lines, the LAPD, and we're going to see a slowly unfolding dirty war in Los Angeles.
And they produced it 2 years ago, released it last year, a $300+ million movie, Civil War. Alex Jones.
Just tearing up, to protect the demonstrators. So Los Angeles is so big, it's like its own universe. It's like its own continent.
Look at this.
You can't isolate little neighborhoods like Portland.
No, I understand. So Matt, let's talk about what the White House needs to do. We have the law on our side. We have these Congress people and mayors.
Okay, here we go. Let's talk about what the White House needs to do in the opinion of Alex Jones.
Saying or directing the rioters. You have Newsom saying, come get me. We're going to protect anybody here, even if they're not a citizen. Get out of this area. That's terrorism. They're trying to hold an area. You know, we talk about Chaz and all these communist autonomous zones. L.A. is trying to, beyond a sanctuary city, literally secede right now.
Absolutely.
And this is the model for the rest of the country. It's the Podesta plan to break the blue states away after they, quote, claim Trump's a dictator. It's all war gamed. And so Trump needs to come out with televised address, talk about the Podesta plan, educate everybody, basically just blueprint what we say here. It's all true. And then just do a national address and say they want to make me look like a dictator while they burn down the country and sabotage us. We're trying to save the kidnapped kids. You know, we are going to go in.
I want to hear what Alex Jones thinks the White House should do about this.
And we need at accelerated speed. Matt, you agree with that?
Yes, and this is going to be extremely risky, and that's why the ground has to be prepared. The psychological information war ground, like Michael Yon says, information war is the highest level of war, and that's why your network is called InfoWars. Everything flows downhill from capturing the mind of the people, and if we go in heavy, like it's Baghdad. Mission accomplished, it's going to backfire.
But that's why they're going to do the false flag. Trump knows that. They've been very light-handed, and a lot of patriots go, hey, why are you being wimps? It's a setup, people. Okay? So right now, the discretion is a greater part of valor, but we've got to understand the false flags coming. Let's talk about those scenarios.
But very important. In this information war,
speak to those scenarios. You've already mentioned it.
Because they don't.
That's one thing. I would like to get out there with the drone and just hover over some of these areas, see what's going on, how the cops are advancing, who started this whole thing.
And call for uprisings nationwide. It's all happening. And the last ingredient is the false flags, because I know you've seen it. Democrat leaders everywhere saying, oh, Trump and Tom Homan are going to kill migrants. They're going to mow them down, on CNN, just out of the blue. And that's the talking point, because clearly they're prepping it for the false flag. Let's speak to those scenarios. You've already mentioned it some.
That's why these days before that false flag are so important, to educate people about who is right and who is wrong in this situation.
So this is LA happening right here in the good old US of A. And I can't imagine it's going to get any better as they add more and more military men to this situation. This is we're just shy of 3 hours right now. We tried to get a call in going because something happening on my end. There was reverb, and it's really not easy to watch something where things keep repeating. So what we'll try to do is we'll try to do a call-in show maybe tomorrow or the day after, so we can talk about this kind of stuff. It's going to continue to fester because I don't see either side backing down. I don't see Tom Homan and the Trump administration backing down, and I don't see anti-ICE people backing down. Being anti-ICE is just natural if you want a free country. That doesn't even mean I'm on the side of the protesters. When you're rioting and you're burning stuff in the street and you're spraying graffiti all over your community and you're setting stuff on fire, I don't see how you're trying to come up with a solution to this problem right here. On the other side of it, if you continue to add more and more of a police presence, more tear gas canisters, more rubber bullets, more mace to the situation, it's just going to inflame people even more. The powers that shouldn't be know this. They know the power of a psychological operation. They know the power of losing your individualism in a crowd, and nothing good can come from this right here. Brian, you don't get it. This is how our founding fathers solved the problem. I don't. I'm not seeing the protesters being on the side of the founding fathers. I don't see liberty as the objective. I see what I see being fomented on both sides is something entirely different from the revolution. And the revolution, you had a united front against a tyrannical force. Was there propaganda going on? Probably. Definitely not to the level of this internet age right here. But I see people being, their fuse being lit by the left versus right, incessant propaganda show going on by the left versus right, corporate propagandists, dog and pony show, CIA infiltrated Operation Mockingbird, MK Ultra media. That's what's fueling the minds of most of these people. I don't think their minds are necessarily set on, hey, this is unjust. This is immoral. I see them more like, hey, that's a rightist policy or that's a leftist policy. We need to lash out against it. I don't see a united front because the left versus right paradigm lie nonsense is just ripping the fabric of America apart. And it has been for a long time. And the entire time, the people who are really causing the problem, the people who own the issuance and value of this, they're getting away scot-free. They don't care. They don't care how many fires are set. That's not going to upset them. They're in Malibu in some mansion, or they're deep underground in a bunker somewhere. They're safe and secure from all the nonsense that they've created. That's my take on it. Okay, guys, I appreciate it. Don't forget, give credit to where credit's due. We went over Nick Shirley. Alex Jones is reporting on this. Let's see, it's called the Nick Shirley channel. We went over Chile Delete Laws channel. Go visit them. Give them a like. They definitely, whether you agree with Nick Shirley's politics or Chile's or Alex Jones, I appreciate people being on the street there and actually video recording what is happening so we don't have to look through the camera lens of a CNN or a Fox News. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. If you haven't done so already, make sure you hit the like button, hit the share button. If you want, subscribe to the channel, become a member, but more importantly, understand that freedom is dangerous. The only thing more dangerous is not having freedom, and it looks like we're kind of fastly approaching that cliff as we speak. I will see you in the next video.